스페더에서.
Hi, Matthew. It's Judge Janine, and I wanted to congratulate you on the Don't Unfriend Me show at the DUM Show. I was thinking about that whole thing the other day when I thought it was right after Donald Trump was elected that everybody on the left started unfriending anyone on the right. So I'm glad you're calling them out. You've got a great name for the show. And I hope that you're true to the values, conservative values, Republican values, and that you call those people out. I think it's great. And I know you've got 135,000 followers. I hope you get a lot more. And just keep the faith. Keep fighting. I think we may get America back. But in the meantime, we've got a steep hill to climb. And you're one of the fighters, one of the patriots. So thank you for what you're doing.
Purcellville Flag Company. This show is brought to you by PFC Flags. They are in fuego, but all made in America, not Mexico, even though that diverse language that I bring to every single show, usually it's 4-letter words and colorful metaphors. But go to pfcflags.com if you like American-made stuff and not stuff made south of the border like those other flag companies or China. We'll be talking about that tonight, but I digress. First off, welcome to the show. We have... everybody's in the house again on a Monday. This is great. Roll call is fantastic. Yeah. Amy and Leroy, I forgot to say hello to you. Hello to both of you. It's good to have you here.
Hi.
Well, 2 shows in a row without Olivia and I yelling at each other. It's very nice.
Wow. Yeah, we should have like a tally mark. It's been this many days.
Okay, it's all right. Let's not ruin the show. Let's not ruin the show when we're just starting to have some positivity. Thanks, Amy. By the way, Amy Robinson, Miss Negativity, is here.
Cannoli, oh mother of God. And you're like, holy cannoli, oh mother of God.
And you're like, holy cannoli, oh mother of God.
How can cannolis be negative? They can't be, except when you look at the scale the next morning after you plow a few of those things.
Right. And I think that's what most people think of when they see me as negativity. That's pretty much, I use
completely.
That.
Yeah, just totally a negative human being, for sure. Well, compared to me, yeah, you're like dark and dreary. I was just going to say that. Leroy Jenkins, everybody. Leroy Jenkins. Kind of has a new meeting now.
Good evening, dummies. It is a pleasure to be here. And yeah, we're going to have some fun tonight.
We got to get this guy in the Diablo game and just do a Leroy Jenkins raid. You guys make sure my volume is good. It's been having a few issues. It looks like I'm clipping pretty high right now.
Amy said it. So Amy Stamcone said it sounds good.
Okay, but I've just been kind of softer than everyone else, and that's not usually my MO. Usually I, kind of set the bar, and it's been low in the recording. So I've been trying to fix it. I'm not sure. I might need to get the cloud lifter. Either way, it doesn't matter. Olivia Spear, everybody, bottom of the There it is. Olivia Spear, everybody.
Look at the arm to look
She's
at.
going to be a grandma soon, folks, because, you know, the kids are getting older. 10 years old for Ethan, and Hayden's 13. It's right around the corner.
Say I'm going to be a grandma.
Yeah, we're going to have
soon?
kids. I mean, our kids are going to have kids any day now. You know what's going to happen. Yeah,
She
they're going to
looks
wake up.
terrified.
We're going to wake up. We're going to be like, oh, my God, we're grandparents. You know it's going to be like one of them's going to have a kid early.
It's going to be Hayden.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be Ethan. He's too. He'll just do something stupid and have
No,
a kid.
she's her and her boy toy are already talking about, I don't know. They
No,
think they're going to get married.
Wait, what?
They
Hold on.
think they're going to get married, I think.
What?
I think
Wow. I mean,
Aiden, I think your dad wants to talk to you.
I haven't heard
right.
this story. I was just like
Yeah.
being facetious, and I was like, 6 years away, you know, they'll get married when they're 20. No, what?
No, okay. So the comment you made about if he goes to Harvard, you have my permission to marry him. She told him that comment, and he said, "Well, I better go to Harvard then."
Oh, well, that's different than wanting to have sex with my daughter.
Cute.
I didn't say
That's
sex. I said they
cute.
wanted to get married.
How do they have kids if they don't have sex? What is this, immaculate conception? You want to explain? Listen, don't backpedal with me. You damn well know that it's you know, and we're going to be having a full
Probably knows the
conversation about this
biology, man.
after the show's over. What, Leroy?
She probably knows the biology.
right.
I'm sure she knows the biology, but knowing the biology and acting on it are two different things, and she can't do that until she's at least out of the convent. And I think they hold them to at least 42 years old. So
I was
when
talking
she's
about
42
Olivia.
and she gets out of the nunnery, she can have kids and do all that stuff.
Yeah, no, she told me I was too old when I had my first kid. So apparently she wants to have kids earlier than 30.
All right, whatever. Okay, enough of this topic. Folks, my name is Matthew Spear. I'm the host of Don't Unfriend Me. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you here. If you have not had a chance, stop by the Don't Unfriend Me show at thedumshow.com. You can go there. You can get some hats. You can get some shirts, some coffee. Olivia and I ordered a bunch of stuff, and a lot of people have been ordering things. Cheryl, where's Cheryl? Cheryl in the house tonight? Amy, find Cheryl, please. I got a 1-star review on one of my shirts. I don't think so. I have never received anything. I have 72 5-star reviews on my product. I have never, except for Thomas Austin, who ordered 2 coffee cups that he hadn't received yet and gave me a 4. And he's like, I always give 4s. I said, bull crap you do. Fix that stat, Dryrene. And he did. But Cheryl gave me a 1-star. I'm hoping that she thinks the 1-star means you're the best. Like, you're the number 1 star. And I'm like, no, it's 5 stars or bust. So Cheryl, report to the principal's office. You're in trouble. So I just got that. Maybe it was an accident. Yeah, like accidents like
Right.
like me banning her for eternity. That type of accident. Cheryl, please.
She said I did not give you a 1-star review. I always give 5 stars.
You gave me a
So
1
I
star,
better-
Cheryl.
So it better not be me, is what she
It's
said.
Cheryl. It's you. You accidentally gave me a 1 star, and I love you. I'm like, this has to be a mistake. It's Cheryl.
was
But I
clicking
wrote
too
back to him
fast
like,
is what it was.
wow, Cheryl, thanks a lot.
I have a wait. I don't think I've ever rated my dummy gear. How
You
do I
can.
even-
You everyone gets an email. You need to check your trash, because being a real estate
Oh.
agent, I'm sure you get a lot of spam. But
I do.
every dummy gets a review, and they've always been 5. Cheryl, take a look. But you know what? Let's pull it up, Cheryl.
What was your comment?
Right under the bus.
Proof is. I mean, you know me. I'm Mr. Factual. Let's see if this is right. I don't certainly want to.
While
I'm
Mr.
not gonna
Spear is
out
trying to locate the school bus to run it over Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl Brandis left the following. Cheryl Brandis. Yeah. Cheryl Brandis left the following 1-star review for the product Why We Stand. Female. Why We Stand. No comments, just a 1-star. And my reply was, ouch. 1-star review. Ow. That's it. So here it is. I mean, there's no reason for me to be dishonest. I always bring receipts.
She's sorry. She
Cheryl, it's
apologizes.
okay. Don't Cheryl, stop it. Of course I'm going to embarrass you. I love you. You're awesome. Just go in there and fix it, or else.
Or else.
So
Bullshit.
that's
Bullshit.
right. It was bullshit. I'm just going to say. So anyway, just give it a little give it 4 more stars and we'll call it good. Of course she hit the wrong button. Melanie, everybody, come on. Just breathe a little bit. Do you see the smile? Do you hear it in my voice? This I can't take it anymore. Even when you try to joke around with people, they take it seriously, too seriously. Leroy, what the hell's wrong with everybody? Why can't they take a joke?
I don't know, but the moment somebody played that bullshit thing from Arnold, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but somebody who does like Arnold impersonations, has been doing the face swap thing, and then like singing the songs to like Sound of Music or to
Right.
I think the other one was
I've seen it. It's
they are
great.
so
turn up your mic,
good.
Leroy. Just turn up. Just dude. Don't crank it because you were clipping last show. Just a touch. Or is your mic? How far is your mic from your face? Can't see it. That's
Not that far.
yeah. That's not bad. Okay, so just try one more to give me another sound. Give me a hey Matt.
Test 1 2.
That's better.
Maybe it's just
There
the
it
way
is.
my voice is traveling off.
No, it's just your voice is operatic this evening, folks. We're talking about a bunch of stuff tonight. It's some last minute things. I hate that. I get the show completely dialed in, and then last minute stuff comes in. So here it is. Pretty simple. Lots to go over. Trump death threat from legislator? Question mark. I don't know why there's a star there, but there's a star there. Taiwan is on the verge of takeover. Interesting. Melanie, I'm not upset. I'm okay. All right, everybody. Do me a favor. Everyone go and see if you got some Midol. Everyone take their Midol. Everyone get their Geritol. Ensure that they have that fresh feeling. OB is a fantastic option for you. Or FDS feminine deodorant spray for the men and women. Everyone just go ahead and get that fresh feeling. Relax. It's all in good jest. We're just teasing. I'm not mad at Cheryl. If she feels that there was a 1 star, then she can leave it. And if she made a mistake, she can also fix it or not fix it. It doesn't really matter to me, folks, because we're just playing around. Taiwan is on the verge of takeover. They had a kind of hard target date of 2025. And we are slowly encroaching upon that date. And I've got a list of things that I want to list and tell you what I think. I'm sure Leroy might have some insight into this, or maybe he doesn't. Amy says, I'm heading out to douche. Well, that's good. Congratulations. Have fun with that.
A little bit too much information.
No, it's
Makes
okay.
sense.
Listen, it's
All
very
right.
important. It's very important to be cleanly and sanitary in today's world, unless you're a liberal. Rogan, RFK, and Hotez face off. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see this. This is huge. This is like Dr. Fauci 2.0. Rogan is in hot water with everybody. He doesn't care because he's uncancelable. You've got RFK, who is stirring up the pot and drawing attention away from Democrats. You have some other things that are taking place which are interesting besides Hotez, who is a professor who essentially made the vaccine. He's one of 2 of the professors who actually made money from gain of function and NIH funding and research. And he says he's not a multimillionaire, even though every single site that lists him as having $35 million and get paid $6 million a year says this isn't true. I live in a single family home. I'm poor. I'm retired. I have modest means. This guy is defending himself like the second coming of Christ on Twitter. And you wonder, you are retired, but he is fervently defending himself, but will not debate Joe Rogan. It's now up to $1.5 million of people are willing to donate if Hotez and Rogan facilitates and he faces RFK in a debate. I am happy to announce that I'm putting $10,000 to it as well. If he actually shows up, I'll give $10,000 to charity, and I'm willing to make the bet too. I mean, not because I'm an anti-vaxxer or a denier. I just want to see the debate because this is awesome. That would be an amazing debate. So we'll talk about it tonight. I really don't have any sides on it. I don't care. I just like a little drama, especially when the higher ups in the conservative radio and interviewing, they kind of feast on each other. It's pretty amazing. Did Trump just admit his guilt on Fox? This just happened on Bret Baier, and it's not good. It doesn't look good. It's not good. Donald Trump, it's not good. Liv, is there anything else we can say other than it's not good?
No, it's not good.
It's not good. It's quintessential Trump. It's bad. It's really bad, and it's bad. So Trump should no longer go on TV. He can't run under this stuff because he's going to get asked. They've taken away the one thing away from Trump that made him prolific, which was free news, media, and advertising, and free press. If he can't get up there and interview because he constantly is stumbling, this is no good. It was not good. By the way, if I haven't told you, it wasn't good. We're going to play it tonight. We're going to show it to you. And by the way, it wasn't good. It was bad. Ponty76TA, thanks for subscribing. If you have not had a chance, please, folks, we're trying to grow Rumble. We're trying to grow YouTube. We're this close. We're on the precipice. We are literally a hair away from Rumble at 1,000. If you have not followed us on Rumble, go over there. Find us at the DUM Show or Don't Unfriend Me only. And Follow, like, share, and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. By the way, Donald Trump, it wasn't good. If you have any doubts, it wasn't good. I think we should get into it. First, I want to show you something.
Can I say something really quick?
Of course you can. It's your show, too.
Thomas Griffiths, he just retired from the military after 20 years of service today. So
United States
shout
Marine
out.
Corps.
Congratulations.
That's so good. You were probably getting a little bit long in the tooth when you gave my 2 camping cups for the Donut Freeman Cups 4 stars, so I knew it was pretty soon for you to get out. So congratulations on getting out. You can enjoy retirement. You can watch some Matlock. Good for you. Congratulations, old man. And thank you for 20 years of exemplary service. On to greater things, like coming onto the show and talking. Anybody else got anything for Thomas who we love?
No, just a congratulations, man. That is awesome.
Exactly.
I'll be there.
Congratulations.
soon.
That's amazing. Thank you for your service, and that's awesome. It's a long
Semper
time.
Fi. Semper Fi, Gyrene. Good job, buddy. Proud. You need to switch your old picture. I want to see the old the salad and the Marine Corps blues, please. Get that picture back up. This new one with the deer, and I don't like it. Just let you know. Get your old service picture up. It's much better. Plus, I know who you are, and when I see you, I'm like, oh, he's one of the good guys. He can say whatever he wants. Anyway, so by the way, just want to give you.
It wasn't good. Donald Trump wasn't good.
Trump was not
Wasn't
good.
good.
It was very, very bad. It's not.
It was the
like-
antithesis of good. It was bad.
Yes, it was. It was essentially. Oh, yes. Godzilla. That's what the Japanese feel when Godzilla shows up. It's not good. Godzilla. Oh, yes. Yes.
Let them fight.
Oh, King Kong. Holy shit. They're going to rumble.
Oh, that was the dumbest movie.
They're all dumb. They're horrible, but they were dumb good. They were dumb, unlike Trump's Fox appearance, which was just dumb bad. I want to show you something real quick. An update. Everyone was talking about that Karen, whatever her face was. I don't remember who she was. She was mad at me and she was trolling my. She came back and then she misrepresented herself. She's like, I was asleep. I'm like, for 2 days? What the? And then of course Amy got in, and then Kristen got in. Everyone was slapping her around. Just. I mean, everybody. I mean, everyone let me feast first, and then once I was done, I mean, they jumped in. I mean, everyone was just bloodletting this lady, and they're like, "You're questioning Matt's integrity? He's vile." Oh well, anyone who's watched Matt for more than 5 minutes knows. I'm just like, yeah, go get him, go get him. Tell me more about me. Thank you so much. And then she started lying. She's like, well, all I said was, I'm like, you didn't say that at all. I got screenshots. I got the receipts, lady. And she started lying, and so I banned her. And that's kind of the rule, right? You lie. You discredit somebody, you make someone look bad based upon lying, and you're not honest, you're going to go away. You call someone a Nazi, you call someone a slur, you're out of here. There's basic rules, right? The golden rule, treat others like you want to be treated. And once she started lying, she's out of here. So anyway, I just want to let you know that Karen will never be back. Now, second, there was a little video that I found from Joe Biden as I was perusing through Twitter, and I did the really long show on Pete Buttigieg today. While I was ready to cut that show, I went on Twitter and I saw something from Joe Biden, which was it was the dumbest thing I have seen in quite a while. I was truly, truly shocked. Yeah, I'm going to share it with you right now, if that's okay with everybody. Everybody okay with that? Great. Here it is.
Share away. I love
Share
this.
away.
Okay, I'm with you. Well, this is the same.
It's harder for people to buy stabilized braces. Put a pistol on a brace, it turns into a gun. Makes it more. You can have a higher caliber weapon, a higher
Already a
caliber
gun.
bullet coming out of that gun.
He has to be the dumbest human being ever to take center stage. I mean, Red Skeleton got paid for it. the minor league Bull Durham guy who used to spit water, Max. He got paid to be this way. Groucho Marx was paid, even though he was incredibly intelligent. I mean, ungodly smart. His persona on stage was that of stupidity. He's not pretending. You put a brace on it. What he's talking about is veterans use essentially what they call a bump stock, but it's not a bump stock. It's a brace. And the brace wraps around the forearm for people who struggle with nerve damage or loss of fingers or extremities. And what happens is that brace creates a solid pushback, and it literally puts the gun back in motion and creates forward momentum to rack the load and fire at a rapid clip. Well, some people use bump stocks to have completely inaccurate AR-15s and fire these things off at, almost fully automatic pace, but with absolutely no accuracy. The recoil is horrible, and they suck. They're for novelty. Now, they were used in the Las Vegas shooting according to all that drama. But the point is that that's what he's talking about. But it doesn't turn a pistol into a gun, which it already is, which is stupid. And it doesn't change the caliber of the weapon, as I so aptly demonstrated. Would love to get your opinions on that and your thoughts on that kerfuffle from the President of the United States.
If Joe Biden was describing a belt and said that when you put it on a pair of shorts, it would turn it into pants, everyone would believe him. That's how dumb that statement is.
That's
you can't
pretty accurate.
Change the caliper of the bullet of the gun, right, by putting a brace on it. And putting a brace on something doesn't turn it into a gun. Oh, let's put a brace on this roll of tape. Ooh, instant gun. No, it doesn't work that way, you idiot.
Wouldn't that be called brape?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Instead of tape, brape. It's a new word. Folks, if you want to have your tape feel...
Let's figure out how to turn that into an acronym.
I'm sure we can. And it wouldn't change it into duct tape, right? It would still be masking tape. It wouldn't be duct tape just because you put a brace on it, which is completely what he's saying. It's ultimately changing the product. Okay. Olivia, Amy, anything?
He's just so dumb. It's so embarrassing. The world is laughing at us.
Wrong, Olivia.
Yeah, it's wrong, Olivia. Here we go again. I'm like, hi, Amy. Oops, sorry, Olivia. Go ahead.
And I wasn't home all day. I thought you missed me.
Anyway, so now that we have you home, it's so good to have you home, Olivia. So anyway, listen, it just comes down to it's past the level of stupidity. It's not stupidity. I mean, listen, Joe Biden has never been the sharpest tool in the shed. Everyone should embrace that. That's why he had to plagiarize, and that's why his GPA sucked, and that's why he has never passed really any legislation.
He lied about all that.
Right, of course he did. And, he's been lying since he's got up there. Remember the whole thing? Trump lied 37,000 times. What's Biden up to? Because it's ridiculous. I mean, this guy, everything out of his mouth, it's not a lie. He doesn't know what he's saying, and he has no bearing on reality. But Democrats, they talk about firearms. If they care so much about them and they believe they need to be regulated, do you think they would learn something about them? I mean, you would agree that during Prohibition that the legislators decided, hey, we've sampled alcohol, right? We just don't go out half-cocked and blame everything on alcohol consumption of why there's fatal deaths in these new fangled vehicles that are driving around at rapid pace. Right. There's mob mentality. Of course, it's just the alcohol. Well, they probably sampled it at one point and realized that it was part of the downtrodden parts of society. I would assume. Same thing with marijuana and anything else, is that you would probably have to either study something and understand it or be a participant in its devaluation before you condemn it. So why don't they know anything about guns? And why are they blaming everything on guns? Well, because they don't know anything about them. They think that these things are fully automatic, that you can change something by an accessory and turn something into what it's not. Amy, your thoughts on this? Oh, wait,
when
go ahead.
Joe Biden
hold on.
arguing...
Let Amy go and then Leroy go.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, I think the better hashtag for him is the bracist, since he's all for the braces.
I was trying to go there with the tape, but you crushed it. I was
love it.
The bracist.
I like it.
Joe Biden is a bracist. Black guns matter. Black Guns Matter. He's a bracist. I love it. That's a new shirt waiting to happen. I think it's fantastic. Alex, welcome back, dude. Been a while since we've seen you.
Oh, yeah.
Good to have
Hi,
you
Alex.
here. Leroy, go ahead. I don't think you were going to come
I
up with
was
something
just
better
gonna
than
say,
bracist.
when Joe Biden was arguing against prohibition, his arguments, maybe because he was alive back then,
Right.
his
Well, you didn't have
arguments,
to
he
say
tried to wrap rubbing alcohol into that equation.
That's right. And he also tried to join the Salvation Army, and they didn't want him either. So it makes sense with Joe Biden. But anyway, listen, this guy is a clown. And the thing is fine. You can say it's a mistake. You can say it's a Freudian slip. But how many Freudian slips can you have? And the entire Democratic Party seems to have Freudian slips. We're going to talk about this tonight. In fact, we'll get to it right now. Let's do it. Probably one of the worst Freudian slips you can possibly have, which is threatening the life of a former president. That's not good. I mean, I've heard that isn't good. You guys can tell me what you think. Okay. It's not going to work. Let's refresh this. Okay. Now you're going to work? Okay. Come on. Come on now. Let's go. All right. Hold on, everybody. We have technical difficulties. Oh, you screwed it up.
No, it does it every once in a while.
What'd you do?
You're going to have to shut down
Yep.
the program right now.
I already did.
Restart your computer.
No, it's not the computer. It's just the program.
No, it won't work anymore. It's getting beep, 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 beep. You need to unplug the back, please. And then plug it back in. There you go. And restart the program, see if that works. If it doesn't, you're going to have to shut down the computer and restart it. Hold on, everybody. Technical difficulties on both sides. There we go.
That
The
being
app called
said,
again. I
Matt,
can't
how was your Father's Day?
It was good.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Don't worry about the dead silence.
Yeah?
It's okay. It's okay to have some uncomfortable silence. Liv, what's
Never
going
mind. I'm figuring it out.
on? It's okay. Just open up the program. Let's try it again. Hold on, everybody. Just give us 1 second. There it is. See? I don't even
does
give.
it sometimes.
Did
I
you
don't
see how
understand
I wasn't stressed at all. Did I yell? Did I get upset? Was it, hey, Cheryl Brandis just left me a 5-star review on my shirt. Cheryl, thanks. Cheryl just left me a 5-star review. She's like, Matt, you're a dick. Don't ever do that to me again. Oh my gosh, Cheryl, that was horrible. No, she didn't say that. She's amazing. I love that lady. She's just awesome. Cheryl, thank you so much for your kindness and your absolute awesomeness. You're the best. By the way, we got a mug order from our coffee guy. We got to pay him. So people bought some coffee last month. All right, let's get to it. Congresswoman Stacey Plackett. Do you guys remember her from the other night who had some nice things to say about Hillary Clinton, the only person on the planet who said nice things about her? Do you ever remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's great.
Well, she's back in her Rastafarian gear.
She's back.
Yeah, ready to go. She's ready to go. And this time, she times one uppance. I mean, I guess defending Hillary wasn't as controversial as she thought. So threatening the president's life was going to put her on the map. Here it is, folks. Take a listen to this and listen carefully to the very end, the last 2 or 3 seconds. You tell me, am I overreacting or is this what she really thought? Let's listen.
Having Trump not only have had the codes, but now having the classified information for Americans and being able to put that out and share it in his resort with anyone and everyone who comes through should be terrifying to all Americans, and he needs to be stopped. He needs to be stopped. And he needs to be shot. And he needs to be shot. And he needs to be shot. And he needs to be stopped. Having Trump.
Wow. Would love to get opinions from everybody on that he needs to be shot/stopped. Because quickly, the Freudian slip wasn't that she said that he needs to be removed, stopped, shackled, shot, because she believes that. It was simply how she would rather do it. I believe that she does believe that he should be killed and ultimately replaced it with stopped instead. Because the whole point would have been, I believe he needs to go to trial or held accountable. The downgrade from shot is held accountable, is removed. When she says stopped, it means terminated. It means ended. It means no hope for future. I don't think it's a Freudian slip. I think she believes Donald Trump should die. That's my personal opinion. And I believe many people believe that, especially in Washington and all over Facebook. We see it. Who wants to go first?
Yeah. I'll just say,
Ladies first.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Matt. I think shot and stopped were just synonyms for her. Like, she's like, shot, stopped. That's the way it came off. She didn't go, oh, I mean, it was just shot, stopped.
Right.
It wasn't, there was
Yeah,
no,
like, whoops, excuse me, I made a mistake. Like, let's
Right.
listen to it again. People are saying, did she say shocked? All right, well, let's break it down.
To all Americans, and he needs to be shot.
So if we look at it slow-mo.
To all Americans, and he needs to be stopped.
No, it was not shocked. It was most assuredly shot. Because you can see the tongue roll off versus shocked, which is different. Shocked, it's shot. And she probably wouldn't have corrected herself. He would be shocked.
Right.
I mean, he means electrocuted. Amy, thanks for your comments. Who else wants to go?
That's just sad. I mean, to have somebody say that and on TV who's in our government, I don't care if it was a Freudian slip. That's just bad.
Real quick, if you guys haven't heard, Still Point is going to be here this Friday or next Friday, and they're going to release a brand new song. It kicks ass. Oh my gosh. We're going to have the guys on. I got to get a hold of them, and then also I've got to get that writer from Punisher over here, the comic book. I got a lot to do. I got a bunch of people to bring on, but Still Point is coming on. They're going to release their song exclusively on the Don't Unfriend Me show, so we're really excited to do that. I got to get with Brandon and the boys and Matt and Tater to make sure that we get this going on. So here we go. Besides this, Leroy wants to chime in and obviously have something to say when it comes to legislators, Freudian slip or not, talking about shooting the president of the United States. Go ahead,
Well, it
Leroy.
was just interesting that she was able to. I mean, I think Amy is right. She was trying to use those two terms interchangeably, and then last second after she let that, let shot fly on the air, then she realized what had happened, and that's what happens when you get too comfortable on live TV, right? Is that you say things that you really mean and you probably shouldn't say, especially when it comes to inciting violence or threatening or anything like that. Don't do it.
Well, let me ask a question. What if somebody would have said, Barack Obama, at all costs needs to be stopped? What would happen?
Oh, they'd be freaking uproar. Democrats would be
the
freaking out.
FBI
Can you imagine if
rubber
Joe
gloving
Rogan
that
said
person,
that?
right?
Yeah,
Right.
or Alex Jones said that, or anybody. I mean, Secret Service who just came on listening, and just let you know, I was paraphrasing this lady. But here's the problem: threatening Trump's life is an everyday occurrence with these people. We saw it with Katie Griffith, or whatever her face was. Kathy Griffith, who held a Trump's severed head. We saw it with Snoop Dogg, who put a fake gun, but looked real, to Trump's head and shot him in the head. We saw this in the reenactment of from the cast in Central Park that went and had a guy dressed up like Trump and stabbed him a couple hundred times in a pseudo stabbing. We saw this from the cast of Jefferson, I believe, Hamilton. Thank you very much. Sorry, Jefferson, Hamilton, same damn thing. Both white, pompous, middle-aged old men, and who had some things to say openly and degrade Mike Pence. We have heard this from Rob Reiner, who's called for the death of the president, Stephen King, who's called for it, Madonna, who said she wanted to blow up the White House. Right. We can go on and on. My God, if anyone remembers what all
those people get a pass,
Al Pacino
right?
and Robert De Niro, what Robert De Niro said, went on a tirade for 2 minutes. I mean, the only thing he didn't do was insult his mother. Go ahead, Leroy.
Well, I mean, all of those were given a pass, right? I mean, it's okay when it comes from the left, when it comes from the Democrats who want to threaten violence, because that's normally what happens. But if anybody from the right side of the aisle were to do that, you'd be getting rubber gloved by the CIA within an hour.
Absolutely. And Kathy Griffith was investigated, but nothing was done of it, and her career is over. She can't even get a freaking nightclub gig at the Blue Tropicana Banana. But,
Right.
you know, my whole thoughts are, when does this become, dare I say, use the terminology of liberals against them and say, you have unconscious bias against the president of the United States? Because that's what this is. You don't even know what you're saying, because they all say, oh, I didn't mean that. I mean, even when we look at Jane Fonda that said, you know, people who are pro-life are terrorists and need to be hunted down and killed. It was just a proverbial slip. Well, then that's what unconscious bias is, right? Where your hatred and your intolerance for others is dormant and you're unaware of it. Well, that's what unconscious bias is. So you have to become, I think we should do mandatory training for all liberals. I think 8 to 12 hours of corporate training, listening to Trump and Make America Great Again ideology would help these people learn to embrace their unconscious racism and hatred towards white people, especially President Trump. What do we all think? I mean, all in favor?
I'm for that.
I'm for it too. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Leroy, wait a second. Leroy is the only constitutionalist in the group who believes that mandatory training or indoctrination isn't acceptable. Well, Leroy, tell us why that is. Please educate us.
Why mandatory anything?
That's right.
None of that be acceptable. I don't want anyone telling anyone else what to do, what training you have to attend so that you can appear to be politically correct, so that you can appear to be more socially redeeming or acceptable. Screw that noise. Just leave these people the hell alone. Stop threatening these people. No one on this panel, right? Matt, Amy, Olivia, nor myself want to see any harm come to anybody. Doesn't matter if they're on the left or the right. So when that unconscious bias that Matt is talking about, when that starts seeping through, see that, don't try and dismiss it away. See it for what it is. That's their true personality coming out.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah. And we were all tongue in cheek and being facetious. At least I was, because I've been through that training and it doesn't work, because in the end, all it does is reinforce your biases. All it does is reinforce, because you resist that type of stuff, because you're being told something that listen, if it's unconscious, that means it's uncontrollable. It's something that you have no control over. It's like a reflex. Okay. If you get, hammered in the knee, your knee's going to go up. It's just natural. If somebody throws something, you're going to dodge or duck or dive, dive and dodge. And if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Whatever it is. It's fantastic. I drink my own pee because it tastes good and it's sterile. The whole thing is, it's a natural reaction. And yes, I mean, you should be aware if you're a complete racist dick. But to say, listen, you have something inside of you that you will never be able to control, you will never know and never accept. So we have to learn as much as we can about it so we don't understand how to do anything about it. Does that sound good? No, that sounds like a complete waste of time. It sounds like a complete I mean, I might as well just go ahead and just drink a gallon of caramel. It's as arbitrary as that. What's the point? Exactly, right? What's the point? There is no point to it. It's an effort in lunacy, because the only reason that they want you to take that training is so when they sit across from the desk and finally terminate you, they can say, well, didn't you go through the anal cavity search of unconscious bias training? Well, yes, I did. Well, then you knew better, didn't you? No, because I was unconscious to the fact that I was doing it. That doesn't matter. You're fired. That's why they want it. They want to check the box. They want you to go ahead and sign your life away just in case they have a get out of jail free card. So they can say to you, well, you took the training and you chose to ignore it. But the literal truth to this is it's unconscious. It's something you don't understand and can't control. So how is that any benefit to anyone to put somebody through something that has absolutely no effect to help them through the process that they're being accused of? This is the problem with liberal ideology. And it's why they shouldn't go through re-education camps. They shouldn't go through MAGA training. They should surrender themselves that they don't know much about anything, and to stop judging people for who they are not and judge them for who they are. That's the lesson in all of this, nothing else. Anybody else want to talk about this?
Just a real quick anecdote / funny story.
Go ahead.
Several years ago on the FX network, there was a television show called Rescue Me, starred Dennis Leary. One of the episodes, the firehouse for which they worked had to bring in a female firefighter. And that was something New York State made them do. It said you have to have at least one female firefighter on the force. One day she was they were doing some sort of exercise. She failed to kick in a door because she was lacking physical strength. And one of the crew chiefs called her a derogatory term. The whole team was forced to go to sensitivity training, which is another way of saying re-education. You can't say these things, which is another way of saying, because you can't say it, we're telling you you can't even think it, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a real awesome, about a minute and a half long dialogue that was spit back from Dennis Leary that spoke to why that was bad. And
my guys, Don Kleinman. I know nobody wants to be here.
So good.
Yeah, seeing as how the neighborhood we serve is short of rig for the next 8 hours, yeah, we ain't happy. Yeah, fair enough. Now, how many of you, being totally honest now, how many of you would say that you're prejudiced? Show of hands. Okay, see, now this is the usual response.
Yeah,
no one
up.
identifies him or herself as prejudiced. We all think, okay, we have a hand up. You think you're prejudiced? Yep. Against who?
Well, let's see. Chevy Neons that cost $12 grand to buy but have $8,000 paint jobs and 9 spics inside them smoking weed. That's one thing.
Okay, now listen. The term spick. It's okay. A spick. Well, see, that's really not...
Crazy chink broads who don't know how to drive in the first place, and now they got cell phones stuck to their ears while they're doing 65 miles an hour down 6th Avenue. Huh? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Got crazy chinks on bikes with 10 pounds of Chinese food strapped to the handlebars.
Okay, now, see, the word chink is what I like to call a problem word.
If I were a chink, I'd rather be called a chink than a gook.
Okay, now hold on, listen to me, please. Chinese people would not like to be called gook or chink or pan.
All right, and now for the sake of getting banned, I've got to cut it off here because I've seen the clip and it's so good. It's unreal because that's what Dennis Leary and people like him do. But go ahead, Leary, finish your story, and then I would challenge everyone to watch Rescue Me because Olivia and I have to watch it. It's so many great clips come from it. Go ahead.
The culmination of the clip, the crescendo, is Dennis Leary basically standing up in front of the entire class and including that instructor and say, look, this whole thing is bullshit. I am now leaving. You can say that people are racist, but that doesn't change who we are. That doesn't change our actions, right? And the day I don't save someone's life because of their nationality or sex, that's the day you get to drag my pink Irish white ass back down here for this speech, because he's never said or done anything that would discriminate in any way in his life-saving measures. That was the point.
Right. That always interests me. Why in corporations they would always do mandatory training for people who had never, ever made the error or mistake or lapse of judgment to commit anything that they were forced to unlearn. And it's almost Minority Report, right? You're going to kill somebody, so we're going to arrest you for that. And you're like, wait a second, I haven't done anything yet. It's like, you're going to. It's like, what the fuck do you mean I'm going to? No, I'm not. I'm not going to kill anybody. He's like, yes, you are, because at 12:32 p.m. in 13 minutes, you're going to kill your wife and kids. No, I'm not. There's no way in hell I'll do that. And then, obviously, something happens
some serious Big Brother bullshit, right?
Right. And you know, you have to, why are you having to do the time when you haven't done the crime? I mean, I have been through a lot of people, I know Leroy's been through quite a bit. I know Olivia hasn't been through much. I know Amy probably has been through a little bit here and there with her work. But I guarantee you, I have been through every sensitivity training there is, from toxic masculinity to white fragility to the 1619 Project to homosexual in the workplace to handicap in the workplace to mental instability in the workplace to chronic tardiness to Myers-Briggs to lawmaker competencies. Every single one of them I have been through, and 12 hours of sexual harassment training in the military every 2 years, which just...
Did you have to, as a member of Apple, when you worked there, did you have to go through the preferred pronoun speeches? Did you have to attend any of that training?
No, that wasn't around when I was at Apple. That's one of the reasons I left, because it was starting. It was coming. But that's one of the main reasons I left. But I had to go through the whole thing of you can't misgender somebody, the whole thing of you can't ask someone any personal questions of why they're late, that chronic lateness is a sign of homes problems and you need to be understanding. I had a person late 27 times in a month and I was unable to fire them. It took
ridiculous.
it took 1 year to fire that person. Okay, get this. The training that, first of all, we paid everyone $25 to $50 an hour at Apple at the minimum. I mean, some people made $17, $18, $19, which is a lot, 7, 8 years ago. But most people in California made $25, $50, time and a half. And we had one guy show up to training on day one, which the training was 3 weeks. It was very extensive. It was all about, we didn't learn anything about our job. We just taught them Apple core competencies and the Credo card, which is really the Bible of how you treat customers and how you handle yourself. But when this guy came in, he worked for literally less than an hour. And then he filed for long-term disability, short-term disability, was gone 1 year. We could not fill his rec. His hours and payroll were deducted. They gave him full benefits. He made almost $80,000 in pay at home for a year with full insurance, full options, full discounts at Apple, and literally just sat at home and they gave it to him. They didn't appeal the case. They did nothing. They just gave it to him. On my fourth year, when I was struggling with my back and I was addicted to oxy and opiates, they were sitting down having a conversation with me. And literally, it was my final epitaph. It was, Matt, you either get up or get out. And, you were considered to be one of the most prolific store leaders for 4 years in a row. Your store is impeccable. I mean, I was shit hot in Apple. I was moving to VP. I had that future, a regional manager. And I let it go because I let the medicine get a hold of me. And that day that I knew I was in trouble, I stood up and I said, I'm addicted to opiates. I'm going into counseling and I'm getting off this stuff. And they said, you got a year. Go do whatever you need to do to get better. And I did. And they supported me. They gave me full insurance, full pay, everything. Got my stock options. I got my 5-year anniversary award while I was out of work. And then I came back and I respectfully resigned. Because I knew
I've heard that story. I've heard that story before, and every time I hear it, the effects of it never go away in my heart. Honestly,
that was my favorite job in the world. I loved working with Apple because I loved the kids, and I ruined it. I ruined my career. I mean, and I can openly admit that. And I've made amends. I've apologized to every single person who I worked with there who would listen. And I just went down a path that I didn't know how to get out of, and I went down a spiral. But it is what it is. And it wound up being the greatest thing I ever did because I left and I went to Comcast and Xfinity, and then I got to work for some amazing veteran companies. But, you just learn. But either way, I went through all of those trainings, and I was in trouble with HR several times because I didn't take to any of it, and I don't care, and I never will. That is the one thing in an interview people will ask me, how do you feel about, inclusion and diversity? And I said, I think it's fake. I think you should reflect your community. And if your community is all white, you should predominantly have white people. And if your community is a mixture of black and green and yellow and brown, then you should have that too. But you should not force to reflect what isn't your demographic, it isn't your community, because you're going to make people uncomfortable. Go ahead, Leroy.
Yeah, that movement is called the DEI movement, and it's very big in corporate culture right now. A lot of the higher end corporations, the Walmarts, Costco's, Apple, this kind of thing, they are all moving towards that type of HR business model where they include, that's actually part of the acronym. It's DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it's for the sake of appearing.
It's actually the DE and I. And it's now mandatory, and they're forcing Starbucks, they're forcing corporations that now have a rating score. And if you don't fall into this training. Yeah, I just did a show on this. I just did a show on the DE and I.
Chick-fil-A's included in that?
Yes, everybody's included.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have to, because Chick-fil-A isn't going to be able to keep their classification up. It lowers their board. The board loses faith, and they're now a part of it. Everybody's a part of it. Apple's part of it. Comcast is a part of it. AT&T is a part of it. All Fortune 500s are a part of it. And it's just the way it is. And unfortunately, it's bogus. It's crap. But it is what it is. What can you do? But yeah, that's one of the reasons I left Apple.
Get back to meritocracy,
Right.
Well, but there's no such thing. There's no, especially at Apple. It wasn't about, they would tell you, if you wound up getting warranties on the product, because everybody got an Apple warranty because it's so expensive, if you wound up having closer to 60%, you were written up. You were docked and you were written up and told that your selling strategy is too aggressive and you need to stop. Apple didn't track numbers. I never had one number conversation with anybody ever from a sales perspective. It was always about not taking care of the customer effectively or not doing their mandatory training or firing off on their learnings, but never about late. I mean, people just not even call in. Didn't show up for 4 or 5 days. They would show up to the store, and I'd be like, I've got a final warning here. This is now your 7th time. And then HR would call and wave off, and they say, you can't fire that person. We don't authorize it. I said, why? And they said, you can't. We don't do that. And you're just like, these people are taking advantage of us. It doesn't matter. You can't do it. And finally, I just got sick of it because I wasn't a manager. I was a babysitter.
Right.
I was a $500,000 a year babysitter running a store, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, I could not take it anymore. Yeah.
I heard one explanation. It was really, really well put by a guy who I disliked, but I actually respected quite a bit. And he went so far as to say, take out your wallet. And I took out my wallet. He goes, put it on the table. Okay. So then he goes, if you tell that customer that they get a full refund, or if you tell that worker that, yes, they get to do whatever the hell the issue of the day was, is there any additional money missing out of your pocket? I was like, no. He's like, well, that's because it's coming from our bank, not yours. So just do what we tell you. And I was like, really? Just like that.
I don't want to jump off on Amy and Olivia here, but I just wanted Olivia can talk about this too. So the ex-godmother of our children is a regional manager for Starbucks. And I was in between working for Bath and Body Works. So I worked for 3 Fortune 15s in a row. Wexler Group, which runs Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, The Limited, all those older, they were printing money. And then Apple in the retail sector of Apple. And then from there, Xfinity, Comcast, NBC, running the entire state of Texas retail division. And that included .gov, .edu, all just storefronts from an indirect and direct marketing perspective. I mean, it was giant. I mean,
right.
You're talking about $2.5 billion in revenue a year coming from this market in Houston. So it was a vast responsibility. And when I was in between Bath and Body Works, because we were so it was at Hollywood Video Movie Gallery, and I was with them when they were printing money. I mean, because Hollywood Video was incredible. But Olivia was pregnant, and they're like, you have to move to New Mexico. And we were in Arizona. We were like, we don't want to move to New Mexico. Mexico's a shithole. And they're like, well, you got to move to New Mexico. We're like, fine. So we pack up to have the insurance, and the baby's going to be born. But I was one of the last people to leave Hollywood Video from a retail position. I closed all the stores in Arizona, all the stores in New Mexico, from Movie Gallery, Hollywood, Game Crazy, got every single one of my store leaders another job. I mean, I was shit hot at Game Crazy. And they were going to pull the plug. So they kept me there full salary while we did everything. And I just handled all the logistics from literally the Southwest, me and a couple of other regionals. And then I was one of the last ones to go. And when I left, I was interviewing with Starbucks for a regional position and to go and take over Utah, the entire state of Utah's Starbucks area maybe it was a district manager position. So it was all Salt Lake, but it was ridiculous, like 14 stores or something. And this was the 3rd time I've interviewed with Starbucks. I got to the final in like 2012. I got to the final, and then they called me and said, nope. We went with an internal. And Olivia and I are like, that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. My interview, I crushed it.
They flew you out one time.
Yeah,
too.
but that was the last one. Then I did one in Colorado before I took Game Crazy Hollywood Video. I got to the district, and they're like, bam, we went with an internal. And I'm like, okay, fuck this. I am never interviewing with Starbucks again. You don't get to the final in an executive position and not get the offer. Like, I'm literally sitting down with a president of the company or a CEO, and you just don't get there. You don't put me in front of a CEO and not get the job, any executive, because it's embarrassing if you don't do that. I mean, it's career ending. So I was like, what the hell? This is stupid. So then my good friend and she was the godparents. They both were Starbucks regionals, and they're like, Matt, we want you to come. I mean, we know you can do this. You just went from Bath and Body Works. I was in the process of talking to Apple and Starbucks and Google. So I was being recruited by Google, Starbucks, and Apple all at the same time. And they're like, we want you to go to Utah and we want you to run it. And so I called the girl who is the godparents, and she's a regional for Starbucks. And I said, what should I do? And she's like, Matt, you need to go, but you need to understand there are several of the people for the job, but I think you'll crush it, and I've put my name on you. And I'm like, I'll go to Utah. So I flew to Utah. I get there at the interview, and she goes, I want you to walk around the store, and I want you to give me 16 points that need to be fixed in the store. And I said, do you want me to be critical, or do you want me to go ahead and try to earn the job based upon suck up? She goes, I want you to be critical. I said, fine. And I said, I don't need to get up. I already know what's wrong. She said, you have 3 lights out, and it's completely lowering the quality of your store. It's not on your product. You've got dust on every single shelf that I can see because I'm 6'4", and anybody who walks in here who is 6'4" can see it, but you can't because your people don't stand up and actually get up and see from a different perspective. You've got pricing wrong on this, 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 and this. You've got staging wrong on this, 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 and this. You've got open market share on all of your product in real estate, which is $500 per square foot, which is open and not being sold. I mean, I just crushed her. I just fucking destroyed her store. And she's like, okay, why don't you go get a cup of coffee? And I said, okay. So I stood up and I went and ordered a cup of coffee. I said, I'd take a black coffee. And I came back and I sat down. And she goes, what'd you order? And I said, a black coffee. And she's like, why didn't you order something busy? I said, because you have a line of about 12 people here. And if I order a foo-foo drink, those customers are going to punish. And although I don't work here right now, they're still a customer. And my gut tells me to get a black coffee. And she's like, we don't do black coffee here. And you could tell she was pissed that I got a black coffee. Jeez. So as I'm sitting there in my suit and I'm ready and I'm having the interview and I'm doing everything that she's asking me, one of the baristas come up and they carry the coffee, and she comes out with the coffee and tries to set it down in front of me. And when I come out like this, I talk with my hands, I whack the coffee. It goes all up my sleeve and gives me 3rd-degree burns. I go like this. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, yep, I'm okay. And the barista's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay, it's fine, just here. And I wipe it up. And I was so professional. I mean, I wanted to be like, you son of a motherless. But I was like, totally professional. And it hurt, man. I had blisters all up in my, Olivia knows.
Yeah, I remember
I had blisters all up and down my arm. It was 3rd-degree burns. I'm not kidding.
Ruined
This coffee,
nice shirt too.
Yeah, coffee came out at like 145 degrees. It just burned the shit out of me. And I was like, they're like, I've never seen anyone so composed. Do you want to stop? And I said, well, if I did, I'd have to fly back to Colorado, and that would probably be more painful. Let's finish the interview. And I'm like, I got the job. I get on the cell phone, I call Liv, I'm like, I got it. There's no doubt I got it. I get on the flight, I go home, and I get a phone call. And I don't get a phone call from her. I don't get a phone call from the other DMs that were there. I get nothing. I get a phone call from Colorado from the godmother, and she goes, Matt. I said, yeah. And because she knew I wanted it. I was going to turn down Apple and Google.
Right.
And she goes, you didn't get it. I said, what do you mean I didn't get it? How did I not get it? It was a final interview. She goes, they have to hire a diversity hire. They need a lesbian woman. And they can't hire a white male in that position in Utah. They've been told they have to hire a lesbian woman. Openly told me, Olivia, you can go ahead and say whatever you want. So am I right or wrong? Am I lying?
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So dumb.
Have to hire a lesbian woman, can't hire you. So they're going with an internal Hispanic, and you were there to check the box for the quota. And I just found out about it. You're not getting the job.
That was the last time you ever interviewed for.
And dude, Starbucks has called me multiple times and said, I swear to God, just like a year ago. And I just said, all I reply is GFY, go fuck yourself. Like, I won't even talk to him.
Do you remember a movie? It was called The Secret of My Success with Michael J. Fox from 1987.
I absolutely remember that movie, yes.
There was a scene in the very beginning of the movie where he goes out to New York. He's interviewing for all of these jobs, and they keep telling him, no, you don't have enough experience. No, you don't have enough education, blah, 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 blah. He's on a final interview, and this lady is like, you're perfect for the job. And she goes, accept. And he goes, no exceptions. Everywhere I've been today, I've been too old, too fat, too short. I can be taller. I can be older. I can be whatever you want. And she goes, can you be a minority woman?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I just the last thing I will say is when I read that article about 25 million, of course, the first thing I thought about was I could jump on this, and I have precedent, I have witnesses, my wife heard it, and I'm just like I'm not that type of guy. I'm just not that type of guy. But if you think it didn't run through my head, I'm like, holy crap. But as a white male, there is no way I would win that case. There's just no way. They would never pay out on that. Because you can't. Discrimination isn't real. There's no such thing as racism towards white people. That's openly known in the corporate world. They don't believe it. They believe there's no such thing as white racism, and it's not reverse racism. It's just racism or sexism. Right. But because I was white, I didn't get it. Amy, I'm going to open it up to you. You've been so patient. I'm sorry about that story, but go ahead if you have anything to add.
No, I think it's a great story. I've never, I guess the company I work for now is considered a corporate company, but I'm an independent contractor. So we're different standards, but I've never worked for a big corporation. And I just remember my first like real job. And I was there for like 15 years, and I loved it. My bosses were like, they gave us profit sharing. They were like just ahead of the curve, but they were like, think of our company as your company because they wanted people to be invested. I don't know, they were just amazing bosses. I've never, like that to me is just wild. And then I guess we have my office is in DC, and I haven't even met everyone who works in my office. Like I don't think we have like, I don't know, 90 people who work on my office. I have no idea. But the people that I know are like extremely diverse, super amazing people that I've interacted with. And I have they're all just nice. Every real estate agent is nice. Like we have to be nice. So I don't know. I've never even like heard of this in real life. Like you hear these stories on the news, but like that to me is just absolutely wild. I can't even, I have like no words because I'm like, wow, that's just crazy.
Well, I had an interview real quick before I went with Valor with the AFL-CIO in Washington, D.C., and they were looking for their head to roll out the lottery, to do all their marketing for the lottery coming to Washington, D.C., and the AFL-CIO were looking to hire someone. Now, these are predominantly, the AFL-CIO is predominantly African-American. I mean, 100% very liberal. And I had my Don't Unfriend Me set behind me, and I didn't change it. That interview lasted about 4 seconds. I logged on. I'm in my time and everything. And they're like, we wanted to thank you for the, I said, what? And they said, well, we're going to have to reschedule. And I said, why? And they're like, well, it's just, unfortunately, this position has been filled. And we just came on to let you know. And I said, you know what? I gave it a chance. And I was willing to work with the AFL-CIO to get involved in the political landscape. And I think it's absolutely inappropriate. And one of these days, the foot's going to be on the other shoe, right? And it's going to come back around. And the fact that you guys aren't hiring me because I'm white is ridiculous. It's a question you should have had. You should have figured it out right away, right? You could have went to my LinkedIn and figured it out. But it's because I'm white. And she goes, we're done with this conversation, and hung up. And I said, it's ridiculous. And people think it doesn't happen. I'm not a victim. I mean, come on, man. I'm sitting here telling you I've worked for 3 fortunes. And it doesn't matter, though. But now they don't want white guys. They don't want 50-year-old white guys working. And I'm pretty hip and relatable. I can relate to kids. I mean, I'm a good leader. White. Well, yeah, from the neck down, or waist down. But anyway, all right. Well, enough of that conversation. That's a long one. And I know we went, but it's really not off topic. I mean, it does tie into what we're going to be talking about next a little bit when it comes to, I don't know, just the overall left and their reaction. So let's do this. Yes, we are taking calls, Liv, if somebody wants to call in. This is a really interesting one, and I don't know how I feel about it because, like, people are showing up to this doctor's house, and they're interrogating this guy, Professor Peter Hotez, whatever his fucking name is.
Hotez.
Hotez. It's Hotez. Yeah, it's something like that. It doesn't matter. And they're showing up to this guy's house, and they're, why won't you debate? Why won't you debate? So this is how it started off, just to kind of give you a little context, is that this guy is kind of like the new Fauci. He's being heralded as the new Fauci because obviously Fauci retired. So what happened is that he comes in and sees an interview with RFK and Rogan. So RFK comes on Rogan, and of course Rogan, he dabbles in. I mean, the guy believes in UFOs. He believes in a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, and he's not necessarily anti-vax. He's just like he's like me. You got to sell me on it before I take it, right? I'm the same way. I'm not putting anything in my body unless I know what it does. And I've always stood there. I'm like, if I was 80, I would definitely have got the vaccine. I just would have because there was risk. But for me, there was hardly any risk. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. My kids aren't doing it. My wife didn't want to do it. Olivia, right? You were like, no.
Hell no.
So Hotez says the following: Spotify has stopped even sort of trying, which is just horrible English for a professor, trying to stem Joe Rogan's vaccine misinformation with all caps. Not all caps, just the first word capitalized, which is really frustrating because it's not a title of a book. I don't know what the hell he's doing. It's really true, just awful. And from all the online attacks I'm receiving after this absurd podcast, it's clear many actually believe this nonsense. So he went after and challenged the credibility of RFK Jr. and Joe Rogan. And he said some pretty malicious shit about both of them. And they said, you know what? No, you're not going to do that. So Robert Kennedy, Joe Rogan replies, Peter, if you claim what RFK Jr. is saying is misinformation, I'm offering you $100,000 to charity of your choice if you're willing to debate him on my show with no time limit. And then Robert Kennedy comes in and says, Peter, let's finally have the respectful, congenial, informative debate that the American people deserve. Once again, RFK doing RFK stuff, who is obviously has said some things that people don't like. And one of the things that he has said is that Wi-Fi causes cancer. What he's talking about is 5G. Now, I am under no obligation to not disclose my NDAs. So here you go. People have been wanting me to talk about 5G. In fact, we lost a very, very cool viewer who still believes today that 5G causes cancer and it's all a government ploy for mind control.
I remember that.
Yeah, and this guy hates me now because I couldn't, dude. I couldn't even tell you I was under NDA. I signed non-disclosure agreements with Comcast. I rolled out the entire mobile division for Xfinity. You know those retail stores that you see for Xfinity who sell mobile? I helped design them. So I was a really big influence in Comcast because I was hired because of my mobile experience at Apple. I was involved in the design, the layout, the opening of stores, how we rolled out, what we did, what we didn't do, that it's with Verizon and it's actually not Xfinity Mobile. It's Verizon phones. We lease them from Verizon. All this information is under NDA, and I couldn't disclose all of it. I opened up all the kiosks in Houston. We rolled out 5G. We were one of the 3 cities that got to roll out 5G in the United States of America, and Houston was one of them, dude. It was in my retail division. We're the ones that did it. We installed it. We trained on it. We knew all about it. We had the EPA out telling us that this fucking thing causes cancers if it's not hung at a certain degree. That the radio frequencies of 5G are extremely dangerous if line of sight is aiming at anybody's level between 6 feet and below. So you have to hang it in your house at a certain degree. If not, those radio frequencies can actually cause you harm over time. This isn't a myth. Go look at any 5G box that was actually ran during those times, and all of them came with warning labels. All of them. They could only be positioned directly at an antenna. You couldn't have it anywhere from 180 degrees away from an antenna because the amperage had to be pushed up too high, and it ultimately would kill small animals and children. 5G is dangerous.
Well, and he is the radio frequency stuff, right? We have it's so weird how our lives overlap in some areas. I have a close personal friend, family friend, who worked at Verizon, and she used to set up all of the corporate accounts. And so this person was in charge of some of the corporate accounts that were in the Cleveland area. The office where they worked, was well known that like you had your work cell phone, you had your personal cell phone, this kind of thing, and that's how they conducted their business largely was via cell phone. And so they would be on the phone with their not only their customers but suppliers, blah 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 blah. Fast forward about 3-5 years, somewhere in there, and this person came out and kind of confided in us, never publicly, only personally, that of the 25 to 50 people that worked in their office, like between 3 and 5 of them ended up getting brain cancer. And so you're like, how the hell does that happen? Well, I mean, do the math.
And I want to just I want to be clear. A 5G phone is
That was
not
way back.
It's not a 5. Okay, let's slow down. What I'm talking about is wireless internet in your home. A 5G receiver from a broadcasted antenna that's a 5G antenna. 5G antennas are, you've seen the fake trees that are cell phone antennas. 5G is very, very descript. It's very easy to see. It has 12 facing from 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like a clock. And then it's got little module pylons that are in front of it. It ultimately looks like kind of like the ship that is in the Mars movie. What is it, Liv? That we just watched last night? The Martian. That vessel that's flying. It's what it looks like. It's what a 5G antenna.
You watched The Martian last night.
The terminal point of that antenna, which has to be placed every quarter mile or so, because 5G range can't be amped up that high, or it does become dangerous. So you have to have a receiver. That receiver box that was released for original 5G had a warning label on it that it could be damaging to human beings if you got between the receiver and that antenna. You have to understand, sonar from a submarine is the same way. You don't want to have somebody in front of a fucking SSN that's about ready to ping and fire its sonar. Divers, if divers are in the water on any vessel, you ghost your radar. Like, you ghost it. You will fry a freaking diver who's in front of the ship. This is well known. I mean, Leroy will tell you when we're underway, diver in the water, diver in the water. And it's literally like GQ. It is a red flag that says divers are in the water. Do not ping your sonar. Well, 5G isn't sonar, but it is extremely powerful for civilian use. So you have to be very careful. But a cell phone picking up 5G from satellite, that is nothing, or an antenna on top of a mountain, is nothing that what we're talking about. Your phone is about as benign as possible. The original microwave emitters that came from cell phones were very dangerous for brain tumors. There is no link between cell phone use and brain tumors or testicular cancer or anything else right now from having in your pocket. That is a complete myth and a misnomer. No consequential data has linked that. But those 5G wireless in homes are very dangerous if they are not properly installed and at the right area and pointed at the right mark. And apartments had to stop putting them in Houston, because what would happen is they would put those receivers in a second floor, and the third floor people would be affected by what it was emitting. It's very dangerous. Most of those signals can't go through certain panes of glass, and they certainly can't go through a wall. They have to have direct line of sight. Now, the other modules are changing because they're advancing the technology, but the first generation of 5G was extremely dangerous. And anyone who says it wasn't is lying to you. And that's talking about somebody who was under NDA. I'm not under NDA anymore. I had a 3-year NDA. That's long expired. But I had to sign my life away on that shit, and I couldn't talk about it on this show or anywhere else. There it is.
You ever seen any of the, when you're on a ship, if you were ever radiating anything of substantial power near the shoreline, sometimes we would see birds. And I can recall at least one occasion where we were, we were using a Mark 92. A Mark 92 is a fire control radar. It fires a very concentrated beam, and they had the thing pointed off to the, ocean side. But a damn seagull flew right in the path of the thing, and it stopped right there. It fell in the water.
Dead and cooked. Yeah, internal organs fried, liquefied immediately. Just toast. Dead. Blood boils, aneurysm, gone. I mean, it's almost as quick as throwing it an Alka-Seltzer. Like seagulls, if you throw, they don't have the ability to flatulate. Yeah. Holy shit! I'm so sorry, ladies. We did it. I apologize, but I had to get into it. Let me shift gears. I want to show a couple of videos. One of them is the first video of this guy. And Leroy, please. Or Amy and no, I didn't mean to say that. Amy and Olivia, definitely want to get your opinion. So here's the first video. Now, I watch a lot of Joe Rogan. Amy, Leroy, do you guys watch Joe Rogan at all?
I don't. I'm not a religious watcher, but I watch on occasion. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I know enough about him, I think.
Here's when I'll just give it to you quick. You know when Joe Rogan likes somebody, and you know when he doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very easily. Joe Rogan lets people finish. He engages, but when you push his buttons, just like me, you'll know if he doesn't like you. I don't pretend when I like something. I don't like if I don't like you.
Oh, I've
you
seen
know.
him on The Attack. He's something.
Yeah, yeah. You know when I don't like you. There's no doubt, and I let you know, and it usually is in defense of a viewer or my wife or something like that. If I don't like you, you know. Well, Joe Rogan most assuredly does not like this guy, and I can't speak for Joe. I don't know Joe. I'm a viewer. And I know him based upon years of watching Joe Rogan and admiring his work. So he very well may hear this someday and say, dude, I can't believe you misrepresented me. So I'm not speaking for him, but if you've watched him, you watch his demeanor and you'll know. What the hell are you doing, Yenny?
I don't know what she's doing.
All right, here it is.
Do you take care of your immune system in other ways? Do you take probiotics? Are you cautious about your diet?
I'm not as cautious about my diet as
I apologize to the women because I know Amy and Olivia were completely bored. So
That's why the cat's on my lap.
It's not boring because they aren't intelligent. They're bored because Leroy and I go off and they don't get a chance to chime in or don't have something to contribute and they have to sit here until they do. It's not fair. And it would be like them talking about something we didn't understand.
Talk about some nails and hair, Amy, or something.
Right.
Oh, that's
like
bullshit.
that.
Yeah,
I would
like that.
totally be into that. Whatever.
Oh, I need to get my hair done.
Okay, you guys listen to this.
I
This
should
is good.
be. I'm a junk foodaholic, actually.
Well, that seems like a terrible thing for your health.
It is a terrible thing for my health, and something my wife is working on.
This is the creator of the vaccines. This is a person who is a doctor who screams about the efficacy of getting the vaccine for health purposes, and he is an open junk food. Just trust me when I say this. Listen to this. It's going to make you go, holy shit, I can't believe this guy is in charge of our health.
But that seems ridiculous for someone who works with health.
Yeah.
What's going on with you, man?
Sometimes, man, I just don't get it right.
How often?
What?
How often?
How often do I steal a bag of chips or something like that?
How often do you eat garbage?
I don't know. No, hopefully not every day, but
Hopefully not every day.
Yeah, maybe a couple of times a week.
Oh.
That's what with Rachel, my daughter with autism. That's like our thing is to go to the it's called the burger joint or to Shake Shack to get a cheeseburger. We'll sneak some fries.
So you
living large, we call it.
Like that mouth pleasure so much, you're willing to sacrifice a little bit.
I
of health.
am. Yeah. I have to concede that's the case.
Well, there's, I don't have to tell you, but there's a large body of data that connects poor diet to a host of diseases. Mm-hmm. That seems like a crazy decision for a guy in your line of work.
There you go. Sometimes it's not all brain. It's something else.
But if you ate healthy food, the thing is, your body starts craving healthy food. You start feeling
no question,
results.
no question about it.
Do you take vitamins?
I don't take vitamins.
Really?
Yeah. I
wow.
don't think they're needed because most in the American.
Hold up. You don't think they're needed while you're eating junk food?
Well, hopefully I'm not only eating junk food.
Okay,
right?
But there's a large body of clinical research on the efficacy of vitamins, especially vitamins D, vitamins B.
I have taken vitamin D for periods, the recommendation of my internist.
For his period.
What about essential fatty acids, which are great for your brain, fish oil, all these different things that are fantastic for
I'm not going to argue with you.
What is going on with you, doctor?
You got it. You got it over me. Yeah,
you got to listen, but you would have a much better argument, don't you think?
You're making my wife stay here.
If you're taking...
Amy is so right. He's like, I bet he eats pineapple on pizza too.
Pineapple
You're
on
so
pizza.
true, Amy. Yes, girl. Yeah, that bullshit.
What a
Anybody
communist.
Communist, socialist. Complete. If you have pineapple on pizza, you're a commie. You're a complete
You
commie.
married a commie then.
Commie
Pineapple
pizza.
is the best on pizza.
Oh, you
commie
like
pizza.
it
the
on...
only way I'll eat it.
The imperialists
No
brought it over
way.
from Japan. It's right. It's commie stuff. Horrible. We're kidding, folks. Don't get all pissed off because you have pineapple on your pizza.
Take care of yourself 100% instead of
But you still need your vaccines.
I'm sure you do, but vaccines aren't going to prevent cancer.
No, that's true.
Right,
That's
and
true.
there's a lot of diseases,
Or diabetes or cardiovascular disease. Or
and a
other
lot of
things.
these diseases are connected directly to diet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
and
man.
other lifestyle changes.
Yeah, gotta get your exercising.
Sedentary life. I try to go on the treadmill for 30 minutes
You
every
try.
morning. I do it. Actually, I'm pretty good about that.
Yeah?
30 minutes every morning.
Why
on
don't
the
you just
treadmill.
go for an actual walk? It's more interesting.
I do that too. So
You have a dog?
I do a 30 minutes on the treadmill in the morning, and then I take a long walk with my wife in the evening.
Oh,
and I
that's
get home.
good.
But the thing that knocks the crap out of you is the travel.
Yes.
I find that very frustrating because you don't
I do
exercise
too.
right, and then you don't eat well, and you
I
don't
love this
control
line.
the diet
Listen.
as well. So that's
Well, I have a solution to that. And eat well and exercise. Those are solutions to that. Just do it. You know, I treat it like I'm brushing.
Dude, that's why I love Joe Rogan, because it's like he just doesn't allow weakness. And it's like Goggins. Just do it, dude. Stop.
do
Well,
it.
it's really hard. Yeah, life's hard, dude.
Just do
I
it.
worked for 6 years. I worked out every freaking day for 6 years straight. I just took a year off, right? I took a year off because I needed it. My body was physically breaking down. I needed it. And that's okay. But to sit here and say, oh, it's hard. Well, life's hard, dude. Like he says, it's like brushing your teeth.
Brushing my teeth. I brush my teeth every day.
Yeah.
I exercise every day too.
Yeah.
So when I travel, I don't have an option. When I land, I go to the gym. This is how it goes. I land, I get in my hotel room, I put my shorts on.
Yeah, I do that
go to the
too.
gym.
I do that too. When
It's
I
the
can.
only way.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have to do it, if you say this is just what gets done,
Right.
this is how you do it.
Yeah, I try to be really compulsive about that. So
Yeah, I have it written out. I know what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's great if the hotel has a good gym. The hotel, if they have weights and a bunch of different.
or
things
I'll
you
run
can do.
outside if you don't have it.
You run?
Yeah.
Do you?
Not very well, but
No, but you do. Okay.
Yeah.
We got to get you healthy, buddy.
Yeah.
Can't be pushing only chemicals in injectable forms to facilitate health.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair. Not chemicals, they're vaccines.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's in them?
What?
It's not. I mean, it's some sort of chemical. No.
No, they're antigens, right?
Right.
They're
What's the
they're
fluid?
Macromolecules.
What's the liquid stuff?
Typically, it would be saline or salt water. And
All right.
Typically. Yeah, but what an untypical situation is it? That's why I love Joe Rogan. He doesn't let anyone free. And that's why this guy won't go back on and debate. So I'd love to get the round table, and then I want to show you a couple other videos so we understand context of what this guy is and who he is. But who wants to go?
He just seemed very weak. It was like he said something and Joe Rogan would say something back and he'd be like, oh, okay. He kind of change his mind and, oh, okay, I agree with that. And he just doesn't seem like he has very good conviction about anything.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very strong in his opinions other than get the vaccine because I get a percentage.
Exactly.
Ames?
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he kind of he reminds me of the Muppet, the one that sits in the balcony, the old people.
Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just am envisioning that Muppet talking
The
when
politicians,
he's talking.
yeah.
But it's concerning that this man is a health advisor to our world.
Yeah, at least Fauci
Joe
had some
Rogan-
sort of physique.
Right, and Joe Rogan's well, you gotta you make the time, right? It's a choice. You're choosing. By the way, I have several friends who are either autistic themselves or have autistic children, and diet is absolutely key for them. And there's different levels of the spectrum, but they are so clean with eating, no junk food, not going to the burger joint once a week or once a month. It's you don't put that crap in your body when you're on the spectrum. It is so toxic for their chemical makeup and how they process things. It can be extremely detrimental. So to hear him say that was shocking to me.
Yeah. No, you're
because
right.
that's good night, baby. I love you.
By now, anyone who's
It's to
He's
the
on that
point
side.
where I
In my
got
bed.
I got so bad. It's I wouldn't eat any fat, and I got so skinny. I was 203 pounds, and I was a rail. I'm serious. I looked unhealthy, sick. You know, you got to have some healthy weight. A little bit of fat on your body is a good thing. You got to have some fat on your body. People are always like, oh, you know, lean muscle. No, a little bit of fat's a good thing. Yes, Joe Rogan, he's got a little bit of fat in his body. You got to have the right things. But these people who just like fast food every day, we are against it. Like we don't do fast food every single day for that reason.
Except on Diablo Week.
Except on Diablo Week. Diablo Week was, we were doing fast food, but like the worst we do is Chick-fil-A. It's the worst we do. And it's canola oil. It's not the best for you. It's saturated fats. I get it.
Temporary closed, so you can't even go there.
I can't go there now, right?
We ended up going to Leesburg.
We like our Chick-fil-A. There's no doubt. But I mean, when we eat, we eat well. But there's nothing wrong with hamburger. There's nothing wrong with pizza. Do it right. I mean, I eat a large pizza and it's literally 675 calories because I do ultra thin crust. I put on low fat cheese. I do light sauce and I do chicken, mushrooms, and tomato and with a little bit of no fat ranch dressing. And it's the shit. I mean, it tastes amazing, but it's 600 calories. And I can eat a large pizza and it's filling and I love it. But he's right. Once you eat healthy food, it's good. Here's the next video. I want to show this. I want to get a couple of these because these will really put into context. Yeah, go ahead. Add it real quick.
As someone who is the father of a child with autism, we absolutely noticed a difference when he shifted diet. For years and years and years, he was taking a particular medication to help him concentrate in school, and they shifted that around. It went from Adderall to something else, right? And in each and every one of those cases, diet always seemed to be one of those things that was suppressed. Like the kid was never hungry, and it was to the point where he was not growing. And so too much of these medications actually stunt a growth. And so we ended up just allowing him to eat whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, just so long as the calories were getting in there. Now,
that's it.
I say that to preface this. We absolutely noticed a difference with certain foods. And whenever there was anything like a red dye 40, he went ape shit. He absolutely lost his mind, and it was like he had like he had just had 3 Red Bulls in a row, and he had all of this energy, and he was unfocused, and he was just scatterbrained and all over the place. But when he didn't have that, it was like a normal kid. It was so bizarre.
Yeah, dude. Diet is crucial. Like people don't understand. I like quickly. I will have a 1 egg and 3 egg white omelet with low fat cheese by Kraft, cheddar, 2 pieces of turkey, half of avocado with 2 or 3 teaspoons of salsa, and then 3 pieces of 60 calorie stone ground wheat toast with a little bit of strawberry jam. That's my breakfast. And then I don't eat until 5 o'clock. Like I fast after my breakfast because if I don't, I'm hypoglycemic. I'll die. I'll have my workout shake. Then I will have a nice large dinner, healthy, quality fajitas, chicken pot pie, whatever. But just all made all natural. And then at night, I'll have a full thing of yogurt with blueberries, granola, all Greek yogurt in a bowl, like 1 cup with blueberry granola. Then I'll have like a quarter bag of jerky. And then I'll have like a bowl of cereal. And people are like, how do you do that before bed? But it's all about repetition and it's training your body, giving it the calorie it needs. And I need nighttime calories because if I don't, I'm the same way. I grow and when I'm sleeping because I lift and I've got to have the nutrients. But I very rarely exceed 2,500 calories. Very rarely. I will always keep it within check. And there'll be those nights where we'll have frozen yogurt or something that just blows you apart. But it doesn't matter because I do it in moderation and I don't have any other sugars. In fact, I was opposite of diabetic, and I don't know what that's called, because I wasn't having enough sugar in my diet. I would literally just stay away from it. So anyway, that's that. Anybody want to chime in anything else before we get to this next video? Okay, let's do this because there's 2 funny ones in a row. First of all, this one's sick and repulsive, and you just want to hate this guy because all he does is rip on people who didn't get the vaccine and blames them for the deaths of people with COVID. Literally blames them for hundreds of thousands of people who've died. This guy.
What? Unvaccinated. By now, anyone who's unvaccinated
and has been lucky enough to escape COVID, your luck is about to run out. Our worst pandemic threats arose out of unvaccinated populations. We have about 80 million vaccine eligible Americans who are not vaccinated at all. And that's the reason why we have this horrible Delta epidemic.
Think about that for a second.
That's not true.
None of that makes sense. Let's just walk through this. They're hoping you don't hear what the biggest threat is people who are unvaccinated. Well, if you're vaccinated, they're not a threat to you. They're only a threat to themselves if your vaccine works. You don't do that with measles, mumps, insert polio. The biggest threat to people who've been vaccinated with polio are people who are unvaccinated. You go, those guys are going to get polio and I won't.
Right. Yeah. They actually joked about that. They're like, well, maybe they'll just die off and we'll be left with people who are smart enough to take the vaccine. Right. We're still here.
And we said, great.
We're here and we're queer.
No, not the second part.
I love Crowder. Love Crowder, man.
I'll say this. The whole point of that stupid vaccine was that if you got it, you wouldn't spread it. If you took the vaccine, you couldn't contract COVID. Can I say that?
You can say anything at this point because I don't care if I get deplatformed from YouTube. YouTube can go F themselves.
Okay. If you can't contract it and you can't spread it, I mean, that was the whole point of the vaccine. But that's clearly not the case. But in literally everyone that I know who had gotten the vaccine acted as either a courier. In other words, they knew someone who later got sick, or they themselves got sick. Mm-hmm. It's like the vaccine didn't do a damn thing.
Livy and Amy, you both have opinions on this. I'm going to go to Liv, and then I'm going to kick it over to Amy. I know you felt very strongly with the kids, and then we'll play this funny video, which it just mocks this guy and tears him apart. But go ahead.
Yeah, my dad has had every vaccine because he's had open heart surgery and he's overweight. So he's had every vaccine and booster for COVID, and he turned into a hermit during COVID. He didn't go out because he's retired. He's had COVID 6 times and nothing serious and nothing that put him in the hospital, but he still had it 6 times every time he caught it after he got a booster. It's ridiculous. My mom had to get it because she's a flight attendant, so she's gotten every booster, and she's gotten it like 3 or 4 times. We all got it once.
That's it. One and done.
We didn't get the vaccine. We all got it at the same time. So we were all sick. And yeah, it put me down for 10 days, but I didn't go to the hospital. I didn't die. And I have yet to get it.
You didn't die?
No, I didn't die.
I'm so glad.
I know.
Do we have an applause button? That's awesome. I thought you did. It's good to have you here. So good to have you here. I mean, you've been really boring in bed. So I figured you were kind of...
Hiya, Fiza.
Hi, Ben.
You got any extra shots?
Sure, Ben.
Sleeves up.
I'm a Pfizer girl in a COVID world. I'm the classic, mRNA-tastic, 95%. There's no argument. Got no contagion with my vaccination.
Come on, Pfizer, let's go party.
With a mask on.
Come on, Pfizer, let's go travel.
Only if essential. Oh, we're having so much fun.
We'll have to do this again for my second shot.
Oh, I love you, Ben.
All right, Amy. So your thoughts on this whole thing?
It's so funny. I didn't know your mom was a flight attendant. So one of my closest girlfriends is also
She's a
flight
stewardess.
No,
so.
they're called flight attendants.
Stewardess.
Yeah. A flight
stewardess, ma'am, with a
helper.
little drink cart. Can you come here and give me my drink, please? Hurry up.
No, but it's funny because she.
Where's
so
my nuts?
Girlfriend, right, more warm nuts.
Don't ever say that.
So I know. So my girlfriend, she literally has she has had all the vaccines, all the boosters, and she has had COVID more than anyone else I know out of anybody. Like, and she and it's crazy. And I know she travels a lot, obviously. And my dad's the same way too. I mean, my dad's elderly. He opted to get the vaccine. He was one of the first eligible ones because he, had health problems. He was a veteran and he lives in Florida. So he got one of the first vaccines available to them. My mom, she did not really want to get it. I don't even know if she is vaccinated or not. But he has gotten most of the boosters and whatnot. And he's had COVID a few times. Thankfully, it's all been pretty mild. But he said that when he got his first booster, he felt worse after that than when he had COVID.
Oh yes, so many people felt like bad. They're like, I had COVID, I got the booster, or got the shot, and I felt like I was going to die.
And I mean, look, I had to go to court over this situation with my children because I did not want to vaccinate my children because they were healthy. My daughter has a heart murmur, a very mild one. I took her to the doctor when COVID first happened because they were saying if you had underlying health issues, there could be complications. And her doctor said she's not at higher risk of contracting COVID. She's not at higher risk if she does get COVID that she will have any complications. My entire house had the Delta variant. My kids, I don't even know if they felt bad for a day. I mean, they had, extremely mild symptoms. Like they could have just been exhausted for, overexerting themselves at school or whatever it was. And I had the worst of it. And I felt bad for less than 12 hours. I was like, I took an allergy pill because I thought it was allergies, and I was fine, 100% fine after that. Like no symptoms, nothing. I did lose my sense of smell and taste. That was a horrible byproduct, but I lost some weight during that time. So, for our family, it was fine. And I know there are people who got the vaccine and, it does, I guess, supposed to lessen the symptoms of COVID. I'm not sure if there's any studies on that.
The deadliest disease on the planet that nobody knew they had.
Correct.
What's one of the symptoms? You don't know you have it.
Correct.
Really? Is this kind of like the reason why we don't see the freaking the Sasquatch is because it goes off and dies and purposely hides its bones and body? Come on, please. You know what, people? Enough. Enough.
My biggest problem with pushing this on the American public especially is because there are diseases out there that are worse. Of course, smoking and cigarettes literally kills more people still, and always did outnumber the COVID deaths every year. And why are we not
heart
going
disease?
Yes,
secondhand smoke kills. I think it's 480,000 people a year.
Yeah, that's unproven bullshit.
Right.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that bullshit either. Secondhand smoke. I consider secondhand smoke to be the vaccine of the world. I'm sorry. I grew up with my grandfather, my grandmother, my mom, my dad, my coach, my priest. They all smoked. I started smoking at 13. I'm so sick of hearing about this secondhand smoke bullshit. I've always hated that. I always felt the same way. It's like, dude, the lung is the greatest filter in the world. So what they do is they show you your black lung and how it looks like a piece of tar. And then they're like, but it's just all those cartridges come out of the smoke. Really? How? I mean, which one? It's one or the other. Yeah. It's the greatest filter on the planet, the human lung. I'm not saying it's good for you. Okay. I'm not saying that. I just grew up with it my entire life. I never had any breathing problems. I never had anything. I think doctors say shit just to get people to agree. Sometimes, and because it's easier than trying to explain it to them. I want to play this video real quick. Hold on.
If you believe 22% is herd immunity, I believe you're alone in that.
Thanks.
Dr. Fauci's such a douche. Here's this video. Watch this.
That we're not hearing a lot about is the unique potential safety problem of coronavirus vaccines.
And then something changed.
Any vaccine released by emergency use authorization by the FDA is an outstanding vaccine.
J&J's vaccine has a risk of life-threatening blood clots.
When you hear the beep, that's the sound of safety.
So don't overthink it. They're both really good. They're all really good vaccines. Get vaccinated now.
You gotta call now.
If you wait, it's going to be really too late to protect your child.
If this was your child, what happens next could make it the worst day of your life.
So even though COVID poses zero threat to healthy children,
vaccinate your children.
Do the right thing. Be safe and not sorry.
I'm strongly recommending for adolescents to get their 2 doses of vaccine and fully immunized after those 2 doses.
Advanced technology that can help save lives.
This is going to be a long-lasting vaccine. A long-lasting vaccine.
A few moments later.
We're seeing that 2 doses is not holding up well for emergency room visits. It's not holding up well for hospitalizations.
Here we go again.
everyone's going to need a booster. You need that third immunization.
Triple the amount.
Get that third immunization. The 2 mRNA vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine. The 2 mRNA vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine. I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine. I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine. This is a 3-dose vaccine.
But I'm not done yet.
That third immunization, the problem is it's not holding up. So we may have to look at sort of innovative solutions.
Oh God, not this again.
A fourth immunization, just to keep them going, to keep the country going. We have to consider some out of the box things. A fourth immunization, a fourth immunization. Get that second boost, a second boost to keep the country going. I've made that recommendation. A fourth immunization,
But I'm still not done.
1 semester later.
Unfortunately, the numbers are starting to trend up again. So the hospitalizations are up. And so the most important message that I have this morning is get your new bivalent booster.
Willie and Lise were saying they got their booster, and I was like, oh, I need to get mine. And then I found out they're talking about the third shot. And is that the bivalent, or is it the fourth booster, or does it matter? Like,
Don't worry so much about the number of.
There's no wrong way to use it.
You have to get this new bivalent booster.
You can double or triple stack them.
The new bivalent one is doing a much better job. You have to get a booster.
Yeah.
You need to get this new bivalent booster. That bivalent booster for COVID.
But does everyone ages 12 and older need a booster?
The answer is yes. Yes. And by the way, if you're over 50 and have gotten 2 boosters and more than 2 to 4 months out, you're going to need a third booster as well, a 5th immunization.
5.
I don't think we're going to need an annual booster like flu.
Eventually.
Dr. Hotez supports yearly boosters, just like flu.
But I'm still not done.
It looks as though the boosters are not holding up quite as well as we'd like. And I think our thinking is going to change, and that what's going to happen is every, few months.
You guys better be sharing this as getting it out, spamming likes. Thomas just got blocked. You can only do so many thumbs up in a show, but just spam the hell out of this, please. Get it out there. Yeah, I've been to Rumble.
This video? Can you have it posted? Because this is amazing.
I'll just send it to you guys. I'll just put it on the site. Go to @the DUM Show. You guys can follow us. You can thedumshow.com. We do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have recorded shows. We're starting to get really, I think, kind of good at what we do. So please, this is just the beginning. We're starting to hit our stride. So please give us a follow, like, and share if you haven't done it here. Watch the rest.
We may need another booster.
Perfect results each and every time.
We just could not overcome that massive disinformation campaign. These fake concepts of herd immunity and discrediting masks.
Well, Dr. Hotez, you are a national treasure.
It is picking off young people like we've never seen.
Dr. Peter Hotez, that was extremely informative.
Disinformation that you're hearing, that kids are fine, it's nonsense. Kids need to get that vaccination.
You healthcare workers have been our saviors.
Watch out for that misinformation.
Dr. Peter Hotez is probably one of the smartest people on this topic.
If you haven't gotten your 5 and ups vaccinated yet, now's the time to do that.
Dr. Peter Hotez, thank you for saving the world.
They also support giving that third immunization for the 12 to 17-year-olds. People have to feel safe.
Dr. Hotez, you are a voice of reason.
Take down the fake information, these fake concepts of herd immunity. Our last hope is to vaccinate our way through this. Make certain that everybody's vaccinated, including their kids. That's the single most important thing right now the American people have to do.
Dr. Peter Hotez is a person that we like to go to for this sort of expertise.
The single most impactful thing you can do is make certain that you're fully boosted and preferably 2 boosted.
Later.
Monkeypox is a global emergency.
And it's accelerating among a specific social network of men who have sex with men, not because it's sexually transmitted.
Monkeypox is sexually transmitted, almost exclusively.
Before we let you go, we have to stop and applaud you because a lot of MSNBC viewers who have watched you constantly for the last 3 years or so and have come to trust you. I don't know if they fully appreciate what you have done.
Dude, I don't understand. The one thing about the left that I don't get is that they constantly say that Donald Trump's a messiah. And they're right. I mean, I hate to say it, but a lot of Trump supporters are completely fucking wacko. No offense. Mm-hmm. And I love Trump supporters.
Some of them.
And most of them, I love my viewers. And even the ones that think he's a messiah, because they have a right to think that. But they think he can do no wrong, that he's anointed by God. And they believe that he's the only one that can save us. Help us, Obi-Wan, you're our only hope. I mean, where's R2-D2? Right. The funny little earmuffs. That's fine. I don't care. I mean, whatever. Think what you want. But for the left to sit here and say, you guys are a cult. Dude, you guys elevated Fauci and this douche to like God status. Thank you for saving the world. Thank you for saving the world. This guy's the 2 boosters were always supposed to be 3. What? How in the name of what the hell are you talking about? That's like saying in baseball a double was always meant to be a triple.
Right. But he looks like he's being threatened in every video. Like he's like hunched over and he's just like, yes.
Like he's got a gun in his back.
Like it's like I feel like he's like there's like someone off camera who's like got a gun to his head who's like he will repeat these cue cards and
some
he will not
Pfizer
mess up,
suit
or he will like repeat and put back in the like the dog cage or whatever it is because he's just like yes we need it's just very like it's a little concerning. I don't know. I'm not saying that's
the left does. Look at the way they treat celebrities. Look at how they treat people who are questionable in what they do. Look at Woody Allen, right? An open pedo, raped his child, admired. You can look at some of the, like Saul Alinsky, the way he's idolized by the liberals and was all about destroying and toppling capitalism and democracies and forms of government that were all about representing people and how to destroy them and replace them with socialism and communism. What was it, Nabokov? Yeah, I mean, Nabokov wrote Lolita and other things, was pretty much excommunicated from the United States. They love him and admire him. Look at the way that they treated Peter Gunn. Disney fired him for almost 10,000 questionable images around children and comments about sleeping and raping with children. Fired him and then hired him back for Guardians of the Galaxy because the franchise wasn't going to do well. The left are just as bad, and I don't think that most Trump supporters are like Trump can do no wrong. We nailed him on the vaccines. A lot of people did stand up against him about J6 and about the stolen election. I was one of them. And it doesn't mean that we consider him a messiah. I'm not a part of a cult. I just want the Republicans to do well. I want to make sure that they stop Democrats from getting in power. I want to use Republicans. I just want them to limit government. I'm not a big fan of the Republican Party. I don't have any choice. It's either go with that batshit crazy leftist party who wants socialism and progressivism, or go with Republicans who are bought and are corrupt. But at least there are type of corrupt that want to protect the Constitution. Who else has got an opinion on this?
Real quick, I mean, there's this
Shut up, Leroy. Women's talking. Shut up, Leroy. Stop trying to monopolize conversation. When I say who wants to talk, it doesn't mean you or me. Go ahead, Olivia.
I just thought it was funny when they said he's a national treasure.
Right.
That was my favorite part.
He's the Nicolas Cage. He's going to save us all.
Steal the Constitution.
That's right. Go steal the Constitution, Doc. Leroy, go ahead now. I was teasing, buddy. Go ahead.
I know. There's this unrealized hypocrisy that lives on the left. And so to your point, when they look at the people that the MAGA Republicans on the right, and they just say, oh, you people are part of a cult. And then they don't realize that they're idolizing the same types of people that just so happen to agree with their viewpoint. These are the same. And I firmly believe this. I absolutely 1,000% believe this, that there is a percentage of the American population who is absolutely starstruck by certain people, and whether or not that's people in high political positions, whether or not it's musicians or actors, whether or not they're civic leaders, or I firmly believe that there are people who hook, line, and sinker will die. They will die on that hill for that cause in defense of people like that. Of people like this doctor who are basically moving the goalposts 24/7 to say, "Oh, look, one inoculation should do you. Oh, nope, 2's going to have to do it. Well, 3, all the way up to 60."
5.
And they don't realize it, and they just buy into this propaganda horse shit. Whereas,
can you imagine if somebody said, "Go ahead,
no, go ahead."
Well, it's just like saying something like, I don't know, you have to do something 5 times in order for it to be effective. Well, that sounds like practice. It doesn't sound like this is a result that. What's the difference between 5 times and 60? I mean, really, in the end, it's just practice, right? You need to hurt your body as much as possible in order to not hurt your body. It doesn't make any sense. You're putting something foreign into your body, And with an mRNA, okay, fine, once, twice, 3, okay, 4. Now this sounds like, you know, then they started saying it's going to be, you know, mixed in with the flu shot and it's going to be an annual thing. And I'm like, no, it's not. Because let me be completely honest. My kids have had all their shots and we were worried. We were worried about some of the shots that people were questioning, but we're not anti-vaccine. I'm anti-waste of time. Right. And when my kids have a 0.00002% chance of getting it, and I have a 0.0004 chance of dying, it's not a necessity to me. It never was. All right, we got a punch here. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask a question.
Go ahead.
I don't. I'm not a biologist or whoever makes these vaccines, but like, what's the typical? And I know things have been expedited over the years.
Yeah.
Like chickenpox wasn't. I didn't know that was a vaccine until I had kids. Like I didn't.
Right.
We just got.
It depends. I mean, they can fast track these things now. Supposedly, they're like it used to be 3-5 years of testing before they felt comfortable. Remember, polio killed almost a quarter of the people that they gave it to in the first run of the vaccine. Yeah. So you know, they say it can be fast tracked, but there was no data to prove it. And if they can't even figure out masks are good, masks are bad, this is stand up, plexiglass, wash your hands, don't, contact tracing. If you can't figure out the basic thing of how this spreads, then how the heck are you creating something so multidimensionally complicated as a vaccine? And we expect you expect us to trust you. I never did. Rhonda said, I am a Trump supporter and noticed Trump stopped mentioning the vaccine as an accomplishment. No, he didn't. He said it like less than 3 months ago. He was touting all about it. So Trump still talks about the vaccine. It's one thing that Trump supporters are sick and tired of is that he continues to push the vaccine, and he always has. Trump, a lot of people go, Trump never did lockdowns. Yes, he did, folks. I think you forget. Trump absolutely locked down the country too. He's the one that was spouting the 14 days to flatten a curve with Fauci.
The curve.
And he was the one that was pushing the vaccine, and the left was like, "We will never take a vaccine.
We'll never take a Donald Trump vaccine."
Kamala said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not gonna.
Yes.
Folks, we just need to be honest.
The current vice president said that.
You need to be honest with yourselves. You need to be honest. You need to stop lying to yourself. Donald Trump is not the Messiah. Donald Trump's made mistakes. You still think he's the best choice for our country. There's these polls that have come out, and people are like, DeSantis lost. Listen, you can't pick one poll and be like, oh. It's not the way it works. You have to take an amalgamation of all the national polls. I got to move on. We got to move on. It's a good topic. I love that when this happens where we actually have to stop, but we're not going to get to the rest of it. I have to get to this video because this is about Trump and it's a good segue. So let's do it real quick. I want to be out of here in the next, well, yeah, it was going to be 4 minutes, but I'm going to probably say 10. But I want you guys to watch this. This is bad. This is not good. This is what I'm asking you to wait for. Because this isn't good. This is Donald Trump talking to Bret Baier, and this is not pretty. In my opinion, he needs to stop interviewing until this indictment comes to a head. He just got a gag order. He can't talk about this stuff. He's not supposed to be talking about this stuff. The judge just locked him down from talking about this stuff publicly. He's going to have to decide. Either you're going to run for president or you're not, because right now this looks like a shit show. I'm just telling you. It looks like Now, the American public are getting behind him. Democrats, 31% of Democrats are actually getting behind him. I get that. That's great. But, dude, you can't go and do this because then they go, oh, maybe he really is guilty and maybe they should be looking at him. Listen to this. Do you guys tell me what you think? I want your opinions.
I don't want to dwell on it, but according to the indictment, you were here at Bedminster on July 21st, 2021, after you're no longer president, and you were recorded saying that you had a document detailing a plan of attack on another country that was prepared by the U.S. military for you when you were president. The Iran attack plan. You remember that?
Ready?
You were recorded.
It wasn't a document.
Okay.
I had lots of paper. I had copies of newspaper articles. I had copies of magazines.
I know. This is specifically a quote. You're quoted on the recording saying the document was secret, adding that you could have declassified it while you were president, but, quote, now I can't. You know, this is still secret, highly confidential. And the indictment cites the recording and the testimony from people in the room saying you showed it to people there that day. So you say on this on tape,
it says just the opposite.
That you can't declassify it. So why have it?
When I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president. I never made any bones about that. When I'm not president, I can't declassify.
And that's what you said. You didn't declassify it.
I said no. I said I couldn't.
Could have
but that wasn't a
declassified it.
document, Bret. There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things. And it may have been held up or may not, but that was not a document. I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories, and articles.
I'm just saying what the indictment says.
Well,
the recording and the people in the room who testified.
These people are very dishonest people. They're thugs. They're thugs. If you look at what they've done to other people, what they've done and overturned in the U.S. Supreme Court, these are thugs.
The suggestion was that you wanted this as evidence that the military, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Milley, had preemptively sent you plans for a possible attack on Iran and that you didn't order that to happen. That's the suggestion.
I never ordered it to happen, no.
But that's why you wanted the document.
I don't think I've ever seen a document from Milley. Milley, frankly, was incompetent. The last one I'd want to attack with as my leader would be Milley. That I can tell you.
All right,
but I
last
think
thing
you know
on
that.
this.
Okay. Who wants to go? Because, somebody say something.
It's not a good showing, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Amy, go ahead, and then Leroy.
Yeah, I mean, this, considering I feel like in the news, the opposite, like him admitting all this stuff that came out with him saying, like, I'm not president anymore. I can't like he literally said this. And now, 2 days, 3 days later, I don't know what day it came out last week, but it was some day last week. And then a short time later, he's literally saying, I didn't say that, or I didn't mean that. The optics don't look good. I don't think he's telling the truth here. And even if he is, again, the optics don't look good. It's going to be hard to prove what he's saying now is gospel and what he said on those taped interviews months ago is not accurate information. I think we all know that he is guilty of something. It's just to what degree is he guilty of?
That's right. I think it's the degree at this point.
Right. It's just, yeah. And I don't dislike Trump. I think he's hilarious. I appreciate his poor humor because I get that's the type of person he is. So I accept that of him. I thought he did great things for our country. I do not think I don't think he's the right fit for our country at this moment in time. Maybe things will change in a few years. I don't know. But that's my 2 cents. I
doesn't look very good.
I am tired of this. But I am tired of this. What's that?
He doesn't look very good.
His hair was...
No, he doesn't. His hair looks terrible. And I'm not saying that...
He looks sickly. I mean, I'm just saying he doesn't look healthy.
That's what I mean. His hair looks very...
Of course.
Yes, his hair looked like... I mean, I know Trump has like a very... I'm not a hairstylist or a hair expert, but his hair looked very thin.
His hair is huge. It's got good hair.
Yeah.
It's good hair.
But it looked thin on the sides. He didn't have the normal coif, like fanciness that he normally has. I kind of wish I had that. But like you can
just
look at
that picture and tell me that looks
he
looks sick.
He's got bags.
He doesn't look good.
Definitely thinning. No.
Yeah.
His face looks he looks a little gaunt. He's lost weight. It looks like he's lost a lot of weight. I mean, sitting next to Bret Baier, Bret looks like a freaking house. Bret looks like he's basically eating at McDonald's 24 hours, 7 days a week. I mean, look at that. But honestly, Donald is a little further away, but he looks very thin. And I'm not trying to be an extremist here. I'm just trying to be. He looks very stressed. This is wearing on him. It's got to wear on him, man. He's probably like, finally, you found something, you bastards. Finally. Out of all the crap that you've thrown at me and all the shit that I have been resistant to, you're finally going to get something. And this is it. And honestly, my intent wasn't to do this. My intent wasn't to sell documents, whatever. This probably was as harmless could be until they started pushing. And he's like, I'm the president of the United States. I don't have to give this stuff back. Nobody else did. And, this is the way that he does it. And he He buried himself in this interview. He buried himself. I thought it was an embarrassment. I don't think it was anything he should have done. I think it opens up a can of worms when this thing goes to trial. And although he is not on under oath, this is going to set him back. People are going to look at this and go, this doesn't look good. Olivia, what are your thoughts? And then I'll go to Leroy.
Yeah, he doesn't look good. He's looking pretty old. He always looked, even though he was old when he was president, he always looked like he had some energy, and he doesn't look good. And to be honest, I don't know if he's the right thing for our country right now. I know so many people are like, he's the only one, but I don't know. I think his mind is elsewhere right now. And he's going back to throwing insults. You know, he stopped that for a little bit, but now he's, you know, calling people thugs again. And that's the thing. It's
everybody who, it's like people in the room with you. Wait a second. Those people were the people you put in place.
Exactly.
He put Ray in place. He put Barr in place. He put the entire administration that really kind of burned him in place. And you're like, oh, well, that was the Republicans and the right. Folks, we got to stop making excuses. I mean, you just have to ask yourself the question right now. This is going to take a very large turnaround. This is the news. This is the current thing that's happening. And anyone that says this is a good interview or that this is going to do well for Trump, I think you're lying to yourself. I don't think you're being honest. And I think it's okay to say that's the one thing this show has tried to do for the last 3 years is to get people just to admit the truth and say it's not disloyal to say Trump doesn't look good. This wasn't a good interview. This was not the thing that he wanted to be doing right now, especially after a judge said this morning, do not talk about the case. And you're talking about the case on national TV. This isn't going to be good for you. Why are you going after the prosecutor in this? I mean, this is the one guy who can literally destroy your life, and you're going after his wife and him and his children. I mean, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
I mean, when you don't go up and take a piss on the executioner's shoe before he swings the axe, and this is the guy that can stay the execution. I just, who thinks this is good? Leroy, give us some perspective that I'm missing because I don't know what the hell.
No, I think you've hit it right on the head. Presidential candidates are, well, they have to appear presidential, don't they? When you're campaigning, that's your job, is to kind of give America that Superman complex, that, you know, white teeth and, you know, chiseled smile. You kind of have to be that guy, you know, obviously not for real physically, but you do have to appear to be the hero that America needs in order to turn things around. And that interview, I think, did not pull that off. That interview was a problem. Trump did look old. He looked very old, not only in his hair, but also in his face. And not that I would hold that against him. I mean, the guy is approaching 80. But basically, I mean, what the entire time, he's got from now until 2024 to basically say, look, I am on a job interview. I am on the most important job interview that America has right now. And I am interviewing to be your president. And rather than call people names, rather than talk about thugs and name call and brush this off and make excuses here, and, you know, let's get rid of all of that crap, right?
Oh.
Be that hero and start
hold on. Somebody ban James William ASAP, please. Go ahead, Leroy.
And talk about the policies that America needs rather than just name call. That was where I was going to end it.
So listen, I wish I could hear everything you said, Leroy, because I got to ban a couple of morons. Listen, I want to be clear. Okay, so first comment. Wow, you people like Biden. Bye.
I was just about to call that out.
What? Please explain to me the one thing we said positive about Joe Biden. You can't just walk into this show. You know, it's okay to be critical of your president. It's okay to say whatever. And then you saying bye. Well, bye. First of all, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Have a great life. I don't even know who you are. It's sad because we would like to see you. We would like for you to be here and participate. So you're telling me you think Trump did not look poorly compared to where he usually looks? Because Trump is usually magnanimous and energetic and proud. He doesn't look that way. He looks tired. He looks exhausted and he looks beat down. Okay,
if we say one negative word about it,
it's ridiculous.
We're
This is
leftist
he's your
liberals.
Messiah.
Yep.
You believe he's the second coming of Christ, and that's fine. You can think that, but just don't get mad at us when we're telling the truth. Now Amy's here. Amy Una Angst says, all you and your mates, you from overseas, Australia, bet, have zero content with the exception of criticizing people. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
By the way, you look old yourselves.
Yeah, but you look old. We are old. We are old, and there's days that I don't look as good as I look right now. But sister, I bet I could tickle your pickle. So, I've never been asked for a refund. I can lick my eyebrows. So what the hell do you want? By the way, you have a picture of your daughter up there. Why don't you put a picture of you up there? Why? Because you're insecure and you don't like yourself. That has nothing to do with me. I'm sorry that you're upset and you don't like who you are. But we can be honest, right? We can say, hey, Donald Trump did not give his best interview. He screwed up tonight. Now let's get back on the horse and get back out there. We're not saying fold the campaign. Oh, I'm going to vote for Biden. Who the hell does that?
No one.
So anyone who has the balls to question other people's looks and not put up their own profile pic, you're insecure. So don't sit here and try to project your bullshit on me, honey. Okay? I've been really good tonight. Leroy, go ahead.
No, I mean, I was just saying I do that. My profile picture is not of me.
Yeah, but you look like you all the time, and it's a great look.
Right.
Nothing wrong with your look, buddy.
Aw, see.
I don't mind that you're old.
Stop.
Listen, I just don't understand. We have literally just blasted Fauci. We went ahead and talked about Joe Rogan. We talked about RFK. We talked about a state legislature who talked about Trump's assassination. We have not been criticizing people. We've been criticizing the way people execute policy on the national stage. That's my right as a citizen. Why isn't it yours? Why don't you care enough to get into the debate? Oh, well, this isn't going to do anything. Yes, it does. It creates public discourse. This is the greatest form of debate that there is.
Absolutely.
So you sitting here and questioning people's looks, it's immature because I know what I look like. I know what my wife looks like. She's hot. We have good-looking kids, which means I'm contributing something fairly well and decent to the recipe, which means I'm not bad looking either, sister.
If you can guess my real age.
And if you knew how many women that just saying. All right. What did you say? Guess your age?
I said if she can actually guess my real age.
She did. She said 56 a second ago. She nailed it. She got it right on the
fuck you.
Rhonda says, I'm sorry compared to taking... She says, I'm sorry compared to taking actual bribes from foreign countries. This seems like a nothing burger. But we can't do that because then you have a whataboutism burger. So what you're trying to say, and I want to make sure, Rhonda, I understand, because you and I disagree sometimes, and right now we're going to, is that Joe Biden is exonerated for him taking the documents. You don't care about the documents that he took. Is that right? Because if you don't care about Donald Trump taking those documents, then you don't care that Joe Biden took them. Is that correct? Answer me and let me know. Because I have a feeling you do care. And if you care about what Biden did, you have to care about what Trump did. Well, he was president. No. Don't change the subject. This is taking classified documents out of a secure location of a top secret and SCI nature, something the president cannot do and something that Joe Biden cannot do. And he can't declassify those documents. I've proven this 100 times on this show. He can go ahead and do secret, classified, sensitive, everything else. He cannot do TSI and SCI. You're talking to someone with a top secret SCI clearance right now. He's right there, and he's in a blue shirt, and he'll tell you that. We're not lying to you. Oh, he's the president. He can do anything he wants. Wrong. Oh, he runs the DOJ. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. The attorneys general runs the DOJ. And the president of the United States cannot weaponize the DOJ unless you're Joe Biden or the IRS. So don't sit here and tell me.
When we went through the FBI list of everything that they had recovered from Donald Trump's residence in Mar-a-Lago, well, we went through those 4 pages of which was the list of the documents that he had. Matt and I systematically went through that whole thing line by line. We spoke about everything from secret all the way down and said that of the, I think it was 17. Was it 17 TS?
17.
Yeah. He had 17 TS documents. And we both said on the show that if he didn't do it right, those could become a problem.
That's right. That's what we said. We said it the whole time. This isn't a big secret. He's going, listen, I've said this plenty of times, and I'm going to tell you right now. Sorry, I'm going to Leroy. Sorry. He broke the law. At the very least, he openly admitted obstruction of justice. Do you understand that, right? There is audio tapes of him saying it in an indictment. it's going to be really hard for him to get away from obstruction. But like Amy said, it's the severity of what happened. It's not necessarily whether he is guilty or not. He did some things wrong. He's going to have a hard time getting out of some of these things. And when you openly say, yeah, I took the documents, and yeah, I asked for their destruction, and yeah, I knew I wasn't supposed to, and yeah, I knew I wasn't supposed to declassify them, you've just openly admitted to obstruction. You understand it because you've lied under oath. You get it? Okay. So let's embrace it. Let's know that this is coming, right? And this is the case that I've been telling you. Georgia was going to be the big dog. Right. Our Florida was going to be the big dog, the document case. It was going to be the big one. That's the one that Leora and I broke down for you and told you this is the one that he deserves to be hit on. That people need to start taking TS and SCI compartmentalized information and security seriously when it comes to intelligence, because both Leroy and I would be in jail if we did what Donald Trump did, if we did what Hillary Clinton did, and Joe Biden did, and Obama did. And we're not comparing all of them. We're not saying that one's worse than the other, and that Donald Trump is worse than all of them. Actually, Donald Trump is really, honestly, minute. And out of all of the cases, he has done the very minimum. And all of this is he went what his predecessors did, and they held him accountable for it. He was set up by the NARA. They did not hold the same people accountable. There has never been a warrant executed in this style. I am aware of what he's been through. I'm aware that he's been browbeaten. I'm just saying it's wearing on him. And he made a mistake tonight.
I think that when we, meaning Matt and I, were first discussing this one on air, one of the comments that we had made was, look, yes, there's the it's possible that this could come back on Donald Trump, but if they didn't hang Hillary, and if they didn't hang anybody else for the same thing, then they surely wouldn't be able to get away with doing that to Trump. We basically made the case that said, look, if she got away with it, there's no way they could really hang Trump for this, really, could they? And here they are doing exactly that.
It's just a ridiculous expectation. Go ahead, Amy.
Damn, I'm blurry.
I'm
You've been blurry the whole show. You're not blurry, Amy. You're not blurry. You're obsessive compulsive.
No, I know, but I think it's because my internet's weird. Because like the storms.
You don't look blurry. You're not blurry. You look. No,
she looks perfect.
Blurry. To me, I'm blurry and very.
You're always blurry, Amy. Amy.
But do you need glasses?
No, I was going to read a comment from Mia.
Oh, can we read the comment that someone told me to lose the beard ugly, and they're like a 350-pound woman?
I didn't see that one.
I can't wait to see that one. I'll roll you in Dole, and I'll hit the wet spot, sweetheart.
Yeah, just jealous of your beard. No, she was. I think Mia said, and I want to clarify because I'm like tired, and I feel like we've talked about this so much. I feel like I know the answer. She says, wrong. The president can declassify. Shit, I just lost it. I'm sorry for cussing.
No, he can't. It's what they all say. Because they listen to Kash Patel. No, they can't.
That will. But that's not.
No, he can't. It's not true. It's not true. Then explain the process of redaction. And explain why they redact. If the president can declassify anything, explain to me why he had to stop declassifying the Kennedy assassination documents. Go to history.com. Go to whitehouse.org, where Donald Trump retracted him saying that he was going to release the 14,000 documents that were just released. Everyone's like, John F. Kennedy assassination. It's actually true. Donald Trump actually ran on it. If I'm elected, I'll go ahead and I'll declassify the John F. Kennedy assassination documents. He couldn't. The Department of Justice put a kibosh on it and said there's 14,000 documents. We didn't have a plan to release these till 2032. If you want this, we can do it, but it's going to take a year or two. Donald Trump released a statement and said, I can't do this because they are considered still code word clearance and they're SCI documents and top secret. They are code word classified and can't leave a SCIF until redacted to protect anyone living or any intelligence sources that can be put at risk. Duh. He can't do it. He can do secret, confidential, sensitive. All of those he can do. He can read anyone in at that level, but a SCIF access can't be granted by a 5-star general. You can't give somebody that level of clearance automatically because the president of the United States doesn't go through that type of background check. His clearance is completely different than everyone else's. The certain clearances that he has, he can't see certain things from the DOJ. He can't probe into certain investigations because of the separation of powers. You've got to wake the fuck up. Certain things he cannot touch. That's just the way it is. And whether you he even said it himself. Trump even tells you these things and you still don't believe it.
Well, again, he's the second coming of Christ and the Messiah. So he
I just don't understand. He told you. He even said, I can't even do these. If I was president, I could. Yes, a war planned into Iran, of course. Those are low-level fucking, you can get from Jane's Dictionary. Certain insertion documents are open source on the internet. Of course, but you're talking if he has intel on the freaking Ayatollah or the fucking clerics from Iran. Now I'm cussing because I'm so pissed. The clerics from Iran that has specific intel gathering sources from an ELINT perspective or a human perspective. He can't just declassify that and go to freaking NBC News and say, here's all their names. Here's how we collect them. Here's the spies that we have in the parliament. Here's how we've went ahead and infiltrated MI6. Are you insane? What the hell are you smoking? Gosh. I was going to be okay tonight. I was doing great tonight. I don't know what happened.
You were doing great. I was just going to say, like, it's literally what Trump just admitted himself. I can't, like, he was like, I can't declassify this now.
He just told you this. And you're like, oh, it's not real. It's a clone. Somebody went ahead and infiltrated. The lizards infiltrated Donald Trump's body. You're just, come on, man. Wake up. Wake up. Donald Trump is in some shit. And he's going to have to get out of this one. And the only way he's going to get out of the one is to listen to his lawyers who keep quitting.
Yeah.
Leroy, take us home. We got 1 minute. We're not going to do Taiwan tonight. If I have to do Taiwan tonight, I'm going to blow my stack and I'm going to yell at somebody. I don't want to do that. Right now, I'm yelling at general. I'm yelling at general chat. So yes, we're going to do our 1 minute. Leroy, you get your
so
first.
We're just going to start off with the 1 minute and you're starting with me. Is that right?
Yeah, we're not doing Taiwan. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do Taiwan.
I actually don't even need a full minute. I just have a quick overall holistic kind of comment for all of the dummies to please like, share, and subscribe onto their pages. And that is, it's a simple question, folks. It's when you live in a republic, by definition, that makes you a take me home. Say it. Just say it with me,
Democrat.
folks.
Socialist. Socialist.
When you live in a republic,
Communist?
by definition,
A train
you
conductor.
are a Republican.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that.
Hey, Leroy, you're fuzzy.
Yeah.
You're fuzzy. Leroy, you look
Yeah, I
a
don't know
little
what the hell's
crystal
happening.
clear.
I think
It's all
they
right.
must be working on my internet again.
I think your hair is thinning.
Okay, so I'm going to take my last
I knew
minute.
that.
Okay, first of all, in the history of the world, telling someone to calm down never works. I'm not calm.
Calm down.
I'm frustrated. If I wasn't calm, there is another level to me, and that is when I'm perfectly calm. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated at the level of stupidity that people demonstrate, and we're smarter than this as Trump supporters. Please tell me that you feel really good about his campaign right now. Okay. If you do that, you're lying.
Yeah.
So if you don't feel good, I need you to actually go inside your brain and identify what is it that's making you uncomfortable about his presidency and what are your doubts. And if you tell me it's going to be, there's a lot of investigations. I'm worried about public opinion. I'm worried about Democrats pulling a fast one like they did in 2020 and changing state law or doing more mail-in ballots or possibly another lockdown. Okay, all good concerns. I don't like that Trump continues to keep saying these things. I don't like how he throws everyone under the bus. He's loyal to no one but expects loyalty from everyone. I really love what he did in 2020. I love what he did in 2016. I love how he went after the establishment. I love his policies, and I can list all of them, a litany of them right now for you if you'd like. But there's some things he's doing. He looks tired. He looks beat down. He looks exhausted. And that's something Trump has never been. The one thing that's always been is that spark of energy that's always there. It's always omnipresent, that he can outrun anybody. It's not there right now. He looks tired. That's concerning to me. Why isn't it concerning to you? Why is that disloyal to point it out? How does that mean we want Biden elected? I'm giving you every opportunity to really critically think here. And all you're doing is saying, I'm out. You want to vote for Biden. What a stupid comment. You have a chance to say anything you want and influence a show that may not be the biggest, may not be the best, but damn it, we're drinking milk. And it would be great to hear your opinion. And all you've got is You're not a Trump supporter because you said one thing negative, therefore you're going to vote for Biden. That is the dumbest contribution I have seen on this show. You need to stop. And you either need to just turn it off for a while, shut off Fox News, shut off all the places you go to, and get a fresh perspective, or just don't say anything at all because it would be more beneficial. Okay?
That's the definition of an ideologue, by the way.
Oh my gosh. I mean, seriously, you guys complain about the unfettered loyalty that liberals have to the Democratic Party. You're doing it too. Republicans just voted not to censure Adam Schiff, who lied, who openly deceived and took Trump and put him through the ringer. And you guys are like, Republicans. It doesn't make any sense to me. They constantly walk all over you. Marjorie Taylor Greene voted with Kevin McCarthy on the raising of the debt ceiling. Probert, the one you guys love so much, she didn't even show up to the vote. Where is this unfettered loyalty to a party? We are not socialists. We don't believe in the power of the state government. We believe in the individual powers of you and me, the people. You ideologues, you love politicians. It is the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life. It terrifies me. They're not to be revered. They're to do what they're told. What we say. That's their job.
They work for us, folks.
And you want beauty pageants, for God's sake. Go ahead.
They work for us. Never forget that. When these people are collecting their checks to stay alive and to pay their mortgages and do all that crap, that is all done by your money. They are paid to represent you. They are paid to be, they may be icons, they may be, but more than anything else, they're avatars. They're avatars of the people that reside in their districts. That's it. That's all they're supposed to do.
We just have to stop. We have to stop. We don't feed on each other. Okay? You're not a rhino if you challenge Republicans. You know what you are? You're an absolute aristocrat if you constantly tout for nothing. You are selling your good word for nothing. And I'm not going to do it. I'm going to call balls and strikes. When Trump screws up, I'm going to say it. When he does great, I'm going to say that too. And it's been an up and down roller coaster. Right now, he looks tired. If I was Donald Trump, and I wish he would because he works too damn much, is pull the plug for a couple weeks and just get the hell out of Dodge. I don't care what, if you got to go polish your gold statues or go fly and, go to Greece and buy something. I don't know. Just get out of Dodge and go with Melania and just, you don't drink, you don't smoke, but find something a little sinful and go have at it for a while and just get out of Dodge and relax because he needs to stop. He's been going for 6 years straight. It's enough time. Olivia, you go, then Amy, and then we're popping smoke.
I just want to say thanks to Rumble and YouTube. We had a lot of good conversations tonight. And thanks to the Rumble people, we actually got 13 thumbs up on the show, which normally we only get like 1 or 2.
I see.
Thank you guys and girls.
They're happy. But YouTube, normally you beat on the Rumble on the thumbs up.
Did I say Amy or did I say Olivia? What are you doing, Amy? What are you guys talking about?
Do you know this is like the 3rd time in a row you interrupted me when I'm talking?
Will you just hold on? They're the ones that are doing it. She's sitting here mouthing and talking with Leroy over you, and I'm wondering why. You're lying.
I am laughing.
You're both lying. Leroy, you're lying. You were just talking when Olivia was talking, and Amy was mouthing her. She was talking. She was doing a mouthing thing. What were you saying?
I'm trying to think of what
amazing.
I was trying to think of what
I
Liv
can hear
so that
Olivia,
it wasn't
but all I see is Amy.
Why do you only see Amy? What's going on?
It was
she's on the center screen.
cannoli.
Oh, so you want me to switch to Olivia? I see. I'm tired. There, is that better?
You're fine.
Okay, no, obviously not, because you keep interrupting Olivia. Then she blames me. Do you see I'm in trouble no matter what?
No, you did interrupt
I don't care
me.
that she blames you.
They were just talking over you.
Well, I was ignoring them.
Oh, okay. All right. Double standard.
I honestly couldn't hear them.
All right. So let's start over. I apologize for interrupting you. Amy and Leroy, you're both in deep trouble. We'll have a conversation after the show. Olivia, go ahead. You guys are such jerks. You know what? You're taking advantage of my exhaustion. I feel like Trump. I need to go on a vacation. Olivia, please.
No, I was done.
You weren't done. You weren't done. Finish, please.
I don't know what I was going to say. I'm tired.
It was such a good show. And Leroy and Amy had to set me up.
Well, you were the one that interrupted me 2 times first.
We're like the stepchildren now.
What are you talking about? I interrupted you. What
Well,
did
I was talking about Trump, and I was saying something, and you started talking, and you went off a tangent, and I just shut up.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Wow. Well, I was feeling so good on this show, and this all went to
No, it was
hell.
fine.
No, it wasn't, Amy. Obviously, it wasn't because Olivia's
No,
pissed, so the
I'm
entire
not
world
pissed.
has to stop.
I'm not pissed.
Can
I
I
just
just
said you
really
interrupted me again.
Go ahead, Amy.
No,
Go ahead.
just really quick. You said Olivia, and then you put my picture up, and I was going like this, like flip flop, flip flop.
Okay. Okay. You know what? All right.
And then
you know what? Okay. It's all fun and good. Can I say
at
something?
Olivia and not me, so you didn't
All right.
see that I was up on this.
We're gonna fix this right now. There we go. That fixes this problem. Okay. So I'm gonna say one thing. Okay. While you're still talking and you're in the big picture, do you know how hard this is? Does anyone have any clue at? Okay. Here, we're gonna take a screenshot, and I just want everyone to see.
Dude, am I muted too?
No, you're not muted. She is.
Amy's muted.
And she doesn't know she's muted. And she's still going.
Look at her.
She's so mad at me. She's so mad at me right now. She doesn't know she's muted. So I'm just going to go ahead and just Amy, hold on. I'm going to give it to you. Hey, Taylor Swift, I'm going to let you finish. All right, Taylor. But we're going to look at this.
So that means you're Kanye?
This is what I have to deal with. All of these buttons and switches to get everybody on. It's hard. And then to do a show, it's difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute Amy so she doesn't hate me, but I don't know how to do it now because I closed the window and I think we're in deep shit. Hold on. Window, scenes, and hold on, Amy. I don't know how to unmute you now. Don't say anything. Here it is. Hi, Amy. She's back. Did you enjoy your respite?
Timeout?
You were in timeout, Amy.
I was in timeout for just explaining what happened and how Leroy and I noticed what happened. So we were having like an inside joke of what happened.
Yeah.
And then Matt he was intently listening to you, Liv. So he didn't have a clue that I was up on the big screen. But Leroy and I knew. So I pretended to be Liv and tried to mouth what she was saying.
Well, it's typical. He's been calling me Amy for the last month.
Oh my God! How am I the bad guy here? You just listen. It's just like Trump. We're recreating. You openly admit you were interrupting and distracting Olivia. Leroy admits he's talking. Shut up for a second. I want to finish. No. And then I said I was intimate.
I need a mute button for you.
No, you said Amy even admitted that Matt was intimately listening to Olivia and we were distracting him, and you still blame me. How is that possible?
Oh my gosh.
How do I still get blamed?
I didn't even see.
Matt's intimately lilistening to Olivia's every word. Come here. I need the kids.
Did Mom cook your pot pie wrong?
Did you hear my son? Tell him that. Come here. Tell him that.
What?
Tell him that. Tell him what you said.
What'd you just say?
I just said, what's going on? Did Mom cook your pot pie wrong?
Oh. Did you hear my son? Did you hear my son? Did you cook the pot pie wrong?
God, I love him.
And then Hayden comes in here and says, what? What did you say?
Who died?
Oh.
I always lose. What can I do? I can't do anything. I was intimately listening to your mom. Amy and Leroy are playing grab ass while she was talking, and then she blames me for interrupting her. I don't know. I'll take the hit.
Yeah.
You know how I know I'm wrong? I'm married.
We're the a-holes. Leroy and I.
Give me 5. All right, get out of here. Amy, love you guys. Leroy, that was fun.
Love you guys.
Olivia, I'm sorry for interrupting you 3 times, Liv. You've never went 3 times before, Bob. Did you want to finish your 1 minute? No. Okay, close the door. We don't care. We don't care. Just don't do intravenous drugs.
Watch Stranger Things for like 20th time.
Okay, everybody, go to the Donut Friend Me store, thedumshow.com. We promise we won't interrupt you while you're there. You can pick up a shirt, a hat, something nice. Wednesday night, Leroy, Amy, are you guys going to be here punching out? Are you going to be available? Amy, I know you're not, but Leroy, you going to be here by chance?
Yeah, Wednesdays are tough for me. I can usually do other days, but Wednesdays are just like a weird day. And also, I probably won't be here on the 30th. I'm sorry. I will let you know for sure. But like, I don't think I can be here on the 30th, which is like next Friday.
That's really a day that
unacceptable.
I'm going to need you to be here, Amy. I don't understand. The 30th is a really important day.
You're fired.
It's June 30th. Did you guys hear on the show? Did I tell you guys? I was like, when I was talking about Juneteenth, and I'm like, listen, I don't have a problem with Juneteenth. I just hate the fucking name. I think it's stupid. I don't understand Juneteenth. It's kind of like 27-12 o'clock. It just doesn't make any sense. Seriously, it doesn't. Why is it called Juneteenth? Does it make any sense?
We celebrated today.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
No, we
did. You go down to Galveston?
I mean, we had not us, not me. I went to a party today. It wasn't necessarily for Juneteenth, but when I pointed out that it was the same day as Juneteenth, my girlfriend was like, "Oh yeah, that's why we're celebrating." It's just a fun day for the kids. But
Juneteenth, I can't believe my son walked in and said, "Are you yelling at mom because your pot pie wasn't cooked correctly?" I've never raised my voice at her when she doesn't cook the pot pie correctly. I'm just getting it all over the place. I'm leaving. You know what? Fuck this. You know what? Here it is. No. We're done. It's my turn. I'm done. Here it is. I'm done. No. Where's it at? Where's no. Where's it at? Where's it? Here it is. Good night.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No. Fuck this shit, I'm out. All right then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday. With Amy will not be here. Leroy, you gonna be here? I didn't listen to you. Yes,
I will be here.
All right, everybody. Good night. Thanks for being on here. Thanks for having fun with us. We appreciate it. We'll see you. And the recorded show will be out tomorrow. Good night. We love you. Have a good one. Last thing, but not least, Purcellville Flag Company. I don't know if they wanted to sponsor the show tonight, but they did. The wooden flags behind the living eye are made from PFC. Go over to pfcflags.com. Get yourself a cool, kick-ass, badass American flag from PFC Flags. They're waiting for you. Also, 22 veterans today commit suicide. Please watch this. Hey, please go over to Rumble and pick something up. Like following us, liking us, sharing, and subscribing. We'd appreciate it. We are out of here. See ya Wednesday.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call